It is Players League week number 3. Monkey Man joining me, Bear Light, here on the Stay Plugged In Network. We're very happy to have you here tonight for some more Madden action, some STEM action as well that we'll be covering. As far as going over the details, everything starts right now. Monkey Man, how you doing?
It is a wonderful Wednesday. I feel like I get to say this every single week, but Bear Light, it continues to be just that factual and more. Yesterday, I rock hit my windshield and I was like, wow, this is not a great way to end things. But today, this is hitting my monitor, and this is a much more fantastic way to be able to end out my night. So, you know what? I'm ready for some good old Madden.
Dude, what I appreciate is that you kept that in your back pocket, didn't tell me in the green room, and then came into here with some factuals. But listen, if that can put you in a good mood, you know it's the Players League. So let's go ahead and review the format of the Players League if you're just joining us for the first time, or if you want just a little bit of a refresher. I know my memory doesn't work too well, so if you're at home and Korean or the same way, here you go. You got 4 regions here, Green Bay and Houston. They're going to be in the Central region. You got Carolina and New England. Those are going to be regions within the Eastern Division. And we got 2 teams per region, like we mentioned, but 2 schools represent each region as well, where the high schools will play one another, Monkey Man.
It's a huge crisscross applesauce. Basically, you've got each of these, think of them like major conferences, and then ultimately they'll be kind of facing off against each other from each of those regions. And then it will all boil down after the math is math and all the players go through into just one competitor coming out of big conference championships that ultimately goes into the final. So this will be really cool to see how all these weeks go. I believe that we're in week number 3. So that means we're approaching that midway mark, not just for all of our STEM projects, but for the competition that's about to be at hand.
And you want to, at that point, it's a pivotal time. You want to make sure that you're on your game from the get-go, from the start. But then as you move farther into the season, you've got to continue that same prowess, both on that esports side and on the STEM side as well, which, by the way, the STEM portion brought to you, all of this brought to you by Brightspeed Fiber Internet, which is the fastest, most reliable internet with streaming. Gaming. If you want to be in the world of content creation, guess what? You're good to go. No more dead zones via Brightspeed Fiber Internet. Just reliable coverage everywhere you go with Brightspeed Fiber Internet. If you want to figure out if Brightspeed is in your area, make sure you go ahead to chat and type in !Brightspeed and figure out if Brightspeed Fiber Internet is available in your area, because the last thing you want to do is have an internet connection that keeps going out on you.
I literally just worked with a producer that's over in the Northeast, and they, I was telling them that I was super excited to be able to come here for Players League today, and I was telling them about Brightspeed, and they're like, oh, we just switched to Brightspeed, and I was like, do tell. And he was like, it's one of the best ones that we've actually ever gotten on. He produces, he puts my faces in other spaces, so obviously it works out. You want to have a great internet, you want to have stable internet, a connection to be able to connect to other people, so there's no reason to ever doubt it. And you know what? Shout out Brightspeed, a real world anecdote, and you know what? That guy loves them, so why wouldn't you?
Yeah, check out the coverage as well. It's fantastic. But, and of course, when you're on the STEM side too, if you're in a work environment, that's very important too, because that work environment, communication, everything that goes into esports also goes into that STEM portion. And Monkey Man, it's been incredible. In week 1, the students were learning the overall goals of the project on the STEM side, which is really just putting together a commercial for Brightspeed specifically. But there's a lot of assets that go into that at the end of the day. You have to cook up some whether it be graphics or if you need to edit those videos to make sure you get the best product possible. The way that you do that is by learning STEM. That's what they got to learn in week 1.
That was fantastic. They were able to get some extra samples to kind of work from, because not everything has to be a complete restructure and rework and recreation of the wheel. You take those sample sizes, that's what exactly happens in the professional work environment, and you turn it into more. They made storyboards. They were able to get their camera shots. And of course, when they were doing that, going into week number 2, they also were learning about how to properly make those storyboards along with what a script writer would do, because you have to be able to set the camera. You have all the better kind of ideas of knowing from beginning to end. It's just like when you write a paper when you're in English class. You have your prompt, you have your general thesis you want to be able to go around, but what's the meat and potatoes right in the middle of it to be able to get their message across? And they submitted those storyboards for review, but week 3 brought them even more with all the work they did in the previous 2 weeks.
And it's because, at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you have a polished product, and, you want to know the macro before you get into the details. And in week 3, they really dove into the details specifically. They got some review, and some feedback feedback on their storyboards. How do we make this a stronger product overall, which is very important in the beginning stages. But then you learn the video editing aspect of it and the details within the software itself in order to make that happen. That's hands-on learning at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. Just being able to dive into the details, but then having an individual to help you along the way, a mentor, if you will. Justin Ellis on our team has done a fantastic job with teaching some of this curriculum so those students get that hands-on knowledge, which was awesome in week number 3. Plus, you get to learn cool things too, like for example, all those features that maybe the regular individual like myself, you pick up a camera, you try to go through all the settings and try to figure out what's the best look. Well, that's what the students got to learn as well in week number 3.
Super cool. And they got to utilize their phone camera to start doing some of their recording, and they utilize that raw footage to really start kind of piecing out what their storyboards are. And you kind of mentioned about using the tech and just kind of being a layman too, and then eventually you refine and you get better knowledge. That's what so much of this goes from. You have that overall kind of strategic, theoretical comprehension that then becomes practical. And this is exactly what you'll be doing in so many different walks of life, in many industries, learning the tools of the trade, being able to execute in a big way.
100%. And guess what? If you want to find more curriculum along the way, as things gear up towards Green Bay, where the finals will be for the STEM portion, by the way. So one from each region will make, of course, the regional finals into the division finals, if you will, and then eventually we'll have the finals live and in person in Green Bay, where they get to showcase those skills, like all those storyboards that they built go into a product of that commercial for Brightspeed. And we'll get to see not only a rough draft, but then they get to polish it before that live event. And I'm just super excited to see what these kids put together, because I know I have a creative brain, and then I look at some of the things that students are putting together these days, and it actually blows my mind, man.
Yeah, dude, I've had to keep track with all the memes as they've evolved over time, some deep fried and some otherwise. And I thought that, advice animals would be as far as we go. No, nay, it becomes even deeper. So the narrative continues to change, but you'll be able to see all that and more, but you have to be here on a weekly basis. Look, the teachers make sure you get in by the clock, and we're saying that you got to do the same thing too. So make sure you also follow this Twitch as well as YouTube channel here for Stay Plugged In if you want to be able to see all this going live. And I've heard a birdie say that there also might be some live STEM showcases here in the very near future, so that will be exciting to be able to get kind of that precursor to that big final ultimately in Lambeau Field. But there's still so much action left between then and now, Bear, before we ultimately find ourselves at the top of the mountain.
Yeah, creating that storyboard is first step, and then as they create these commercials, it looks great along the way. They get that feedback in real time, and it really is a situation where if you're presenting one of these at a work environment, you're gonna have to do it live in person, like at a conference table with a lot of important people sitting at the table. And guess what? They're gonna be doing that virtually standpoint. So that is just crucial, invaluable experience that you get from Players League specifically. And that's why we'd like you to follow our social channels as well. Even x.com, stay plugged in, stay_plugged_in is what you want. And then that way you can kind of follow along as they do those too. And that's where you'll find Stay Plugged In too, which is the leading esports recruiting platform for high school students and colleges alike. So, with the coolest thing with Stay Plugged In is just the ability to be able to connect with colleges. Sometimes you'll go to a website for a college in the esports realm. Can't find many details about it, but that's why the details on Stay Plugged In, it's all in one place.
Yeah, I've tried, even as cool as I am with Google, to be able to find all those things, but you can just do it easier as, just make a free account. It allows you to search for all the college esports programs. You can build your personal brand. You can even gain some experience by competing in lots of spin online recruiting events. And of course, if you want to be able to take that a step further, you can do that with the Platinum plan, which will allow you to expand your search through all the colleges as you become unstoppable with your spin profile. So make sure to check them out, as the spin recruiting specialist will be able to create a specialized plan of action and narrow down the search for your schools, for your future, and make sure that you get those chances to be able to message all those college recruiters. You can visit staypluggedin.com. That is staypluggedin.com. Start your journey to collegiate esports today.
Oh, yeah, we'll tell you a little bit later in this broadcast how you can join the not the in-person events, but there are in-person events. But we have some online events coming up this weekend, so we'll talk about that a little bit later, but not now. Let's talk about Emerge Apparel right now, where as a high school program, let's be honest, if you're a leader of one of those high school programs, you got a full-time job already. Typically, you're going to be a teacher or somebody related to the school in general who has that full-time job looking to do esports as well. The beauty with the Emerge apparel is that they take all the burden off your hands of having to keep inventory, of having to, as a teacher, and then you're going into esports, having to track everything on your side, including like orders and shipping and things like that. On-demand printing for Emerge apparel. You have your own storefront, so it's literally emergeapparel.com/team store / whatever your team store is, right? Whatever your high school is or whatever organization you are. It's that simple. You can create a QR code, send that out, and suddenly parents, students, the whole nine, they're looking to be able to purchase that right on your storefront. Plus, you get some of the proceeds as well in addition to that. So it's nothing better than just not only getting rid of that stress, Monkey Man, but then being able to put a little bit of revenue behind it. A little bit of fundraising action for a high school program goes a long way.
Yeah, those QR codes aren't just for getting your Discord account hacked. They're actually used for finding some ways to get your school and your program the ease of use for that awesome storefront. So make sure you replace all that stress with some extra opportunities to be able to get over and into Emerge. That's this is going to be a great platform for anyone that wants to use it. And as a wild child of the South who constantly tore through every bit of clothing, and so much of mine was replaced by everything that my mom ever had from a booster club from sports, this is an even better, I think this is an upgrade from all those little cotton t-shirts that I got. They definitely have the goods over there with Emerge.
100% do. We have the goods right now. In fact, we're 26 minutes over the hour, so we got to bring you that 6 o'clock block. So let's bring out the matchups for the 6 o'clock block. We got 3 blocks, by the way, Monkey Man. We're in for a treat tonight, and it all starts with 2 individuals that we've seen already on this channel. It is One Hand Fish facing off with Cheese.
One Hand Fish got themselves up to 1-1. Cheese trying to improve. They've gone 0-2 through the first couple of weeks, but One Hand Fish has definitely become efficient. They actually posted up a shutout already, and they've been able to make up for what was their early loss, and now they've only gone down to a -5 position. Cheese out of Green Bay, seeing if Bayport could be able to post up a dub through this one, but this is just our first match of our triplicate of matches here for the 6 o'clock as we unlock the Panthers side of things with the Carolina region.
There we go. Hex Vias facing off with Dimstog. And finally kicking off is the Carolina region as they'll be playing multiple games per week. Let's check out the matchup card right now. Of course, there's nothing to see here, but we're going to fill this in as we go here today. So Hex Vias representing that T Wingate Andrew side, whereas Dimstog with the Kearns Academy. And Monkey Man, tell me about the third matchup we got in the first block.
We're going to be going straight back into it as we've got more cats on the prowl. Valk out of Kearns Academy will be going against the Director of Education from out of Stay Plugged In. So don't be intimidated. I've heard he's an okay dude. Don't be too scared. Please don't. I mean, you told me not to be scared, but should they? Do they? I'm pretty sure they're a big Madden player, right?
I know they play Smash regularly and compete in Smash. Now, whether or not that translates over yeah, exactly. Whether or not that translates over to Madden, a whole different story. Yeah. So Volk might have an easy time, might have a hard time. There's only one way to find out, and that's by getting to the match board. So let's go ahead and bring it up now. Just a reminder, spin zone, meaning we're going to get multiple games that we get to see simultaneously. The magical board in front of you right now. And look at the bottom left, because I want to point that out. That's that matchup we were talking about with Hex Vias facing off with Dimstog. And it's a rematch, if you will, of the Super Bowl from this year. So let's go ahead and hop into that match first.
Ooh, and the key difference of what you're seeing already for this this starter kit is I don't think that we really saw much of Philly getting pressured. It was really just all, I think that if I recall correctly, 8 sacks getting Mahomes on his back. So the key difference is that they have a solid running game. They utilize that to open up so much more into the passing game. So this will be second down after already an opening loss.
Jalen Hurts in the backfield, Super Bowl champion, you can say now at this point in time. Back at the shotty, now has a wide open man, so that'll be Goddard. And Goddard is a short gain, about 2, as a little bit of safer play than we've seen in the first couple of weeks. So you like to see that kind of approach. But regardless, now you got to make up some ground here this 3rd and 8.
Was it Devontae Smith that they called the Slim Reaper, by the way? Like
It was.
Oh man, that dude,
Yeah.
like he looks like he could be broken just by thinking about it, but then he just survives. So we're gonna see how much the passing game kind of gets opened up, because we do drop back right now, utilizing that pocket. That's gonna be well out of bounds and nearly got knocked back in for a possible interception, but it's 4th and 8. We're at the midfield. It's not, it's not unfamiliar territory if we see them go for it here.
Yeah, 100%. 3rd and 8. Even in that situation, or 4th and 8, it turns into. And yeah, you see it quite frequently, but they are going to punt it away. Play the safe game, as we saw a little bit earlier. The last pass, maybe not as safe as we saw in the previous play, but the punt all the way back down inside the 5. Never mind. All the way back through. Camera did not do it justice, but a touchback, so that one will come out to the 25.
That one got boomed. Heck of a leg on that one. I think we was just in front of the 50, so that does go the full distance. But now we line up on the other side. Kansas City. If you have a healthy Pacheco, apparently that would have been the game changer completely to really run this down. They do try to get to the backfield. That's going to be a pickup by none other than T Swift's boyfriend, as Kelsey will pick up a solid chunk.
Oh my goodness, I did not expect you to just belt that out. And then here we are.
I think they're still together. Someone can correct me. I don't know.
He actually put in some effort there in that play, unlike the Super Bowl. We don't talk about it. So.
He only had 3. I think he had 2 or 3 grabs that entire game.
The rest of it, he's just walking around. But Pacheco does not walk. He will march his way forward for quite a few. That'll be a first down. Moving forward from Hex Viaz. Hex Viaz, by the way, if you are keeping track, is representing that T. Wingett Andrews team in the KC side. It's Demstog in the Philly side for Kearns Academy, by the way.
Isn't marching a form of walking, like an alternative form?
You bring your legs up, though, so I feel like it's a little different.
It's a purposeful jog. Kelsey, okay, he ends up using that second move to go straight into double coverage. However, that's another huge pickup. And no, they will give him the first down. Okay, I thought they had stopped behind the line. Shows my depth perception is absolutely catastrophic. Thank you, military, for at least accepting me in those first few years. So another set of downs, and we're already at midfield.
And Mahomes, back of the shoddy. He's got Pacheco back with him. 2 out left, 1 out right. An opportunity to maybe make use of in-game wide receivers who are very impactful for once in KC's history, but that one just off the mark. Tried a little bit too far. It was a safe play away from the defender, but not able to connect.
I am so gun-shy about any kind of passing offense. From the last couple of weeks, we have seen a sure set of nonstop interceptions. But actually, I like that we got to see this deep zone. They're going to actually find themselves into some lone coverage, but it was all Pacheco, and he doesn't get much. In fact, they lose 1.
Yeah, 3rd and 11 now will be tough. So your defense stepped up for you if you're KC and Hex, but you need to find some offense in your own regard. It's able to move it all the way out here to the 45, but it paused since then the last 2 plays. So they will go back to the shotgun here for this one. And still making some adjustments. I do like that look. You never want to play stagnant, but that one, a good target. Not going to land it, though, as Rashee Rice not injured in this game, so you still get to try to utilize it. That one just did not connect.
If that was a second later, Smith Jr. had beaten the right guard and tackle and had a free lane to be able to go and put Mahomes on his seat. And they will stay out here. So unlike the safe plan that we got a moment ago, it will instead be kind of all in. So they will have Smith Jr. putting some extra pressure. You see the player control off to us. They're going to try and ring that one out from outside the right tackle, but he brings that one inside. They will cover down. So everyone's pretty much covered up. You will see 2 receivers to the far right. He starts to go, and that becomes an interception. Bond finds it in their hands, just put him on the ground. And that, that's a very short pick, or rather a play that ends up just kind of turning right back around in your face.
It is the Super Bowl all over again. Yeah, just kind of. But I like that you saw the open man, but unfortunately when you're throwing across your body like that, if your feet are not set, it just makes it so difficult to cover that distance. So the read was right, but unfortunately it just was thrown off the right foot. But it was a 4th down attempt after all, so really it'll just be that 50-yard line play as Barkley cut outside, so wasn't able to gain traction, and will be tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a 2nd and 12.
That was a player control moment. They had that inside lane. They thought that the left tackle was actually getting beat, so they tried to spin away from it, but he went actually where he was being deflected to. You got to trust that they'll peel out like that. So we get passing on a 2nd down. This one just literally going upwards. He can't come down with the old pigskin, and this is both sides right now just kind of tossing out, hope into the sky as we have 4 seconds left in the first quarter.
Yeah, agreed. Whenever you're up against this zone defense, which is going to be pretty frequent, especially here at this level, and it's very difficult to try to dissect, you got to find the right holes, and that was one example of it, as Goddard will be found there over the middle. So at 1st and 10 as we end the first quarter pretty quickly already on the board there, Hell Monkey Man, as they're working their way down the field.
Trying to be able to get there right now. Dempsdog, they're in the slow grind. They do at least have that 1 interception, and we'll be seeing our other 2 games in here in just a second. I think we keep with this for at least a little bit, but let's see if anyone else has scored. Actually, hello! Check out that. We have a 16-0 and a 7-7 right now. It's kind of completely different on these other games.
And an interception there from Justin Ellis as well, so the educator going to work. Maybe educating, some would say. And then the first one, you got a 7-7 battle between One Hand Fish and Cheese. But down that bottom left, this game that we were tracking, another loft, but another pick here. As once again, the zone, I like to see more dart throws, a little bit quicker to hit them in between every bit of coverage, but unfortunately the lofts allow your defenders to get under it. That's why you saw that interception. So I say we walk into the Cheese versus One Hand Fish up top with a 7-7, and you see a breakaway run. And now in a good fake as well. Mooney, can he make it all the way? He does. We changed right in time. 6 on the board for Atlanta One Hand Fish.
Oh, there was 2 moments where they just had to be able to go and get that tackle button all lined up. This is also the first time this Players League, Bear, that we've seen anyone use the Falcons. That was a great move in open space. If you are able to make that one single juke, you have wide open grass. So, One Hand Fish, they've got themselves a nice pick up and run. They try to get it over to Penix. You had talked about them in the green room, thinking about squeezing their way through, but that front 4 is able to get the job done.
Yeah, reminds me the closest that we'll see of like Michael Vick's days there in Atlanta. So certainly can run. The accuracy hasn't been questioned very much, and in the game, it's certainly not as good as it could be because you get that little rookie nerf. You know what I'm talking about. It's like he's unproven at this point in time. So that is definitely working against One Hand Fish, but you'd never know it by the way he's able to put up 13 quickly and take the lead.
So now we get a look here at Cheese. Cheese has been pretty loyal to the Packers. But being loyal to this position and trying to go way outside ends up with a couple of quick combinations of helmet to helmet action. So go to 2nd down. They lose a couple. Empty backfield. They're kind of going for gun.
Yeah, it'll be a screenplay, but read all the way and tackled in an instant. So the defensive One Hand Fish making use of that one hand as well. And I heard you use efficient earlier, by the way. That's just now ringing a bell, and that was so clever, and I now am just appreciating it.
Thank you. Planned it in advance. Forgot I wrote it down. Trying to get this going, and they actually have to turn into a defender at the point of near turnover. Slapping hands at each other. It is 4th and 14. Where do we end up? Well, right back into Puntville, and unfortunately for Cheese, can't quite build. So that will give One Hand Fish another opportunity. Williams back to receive. They should be able to bring this up at least 15 or 20. They may be able to get even more.
Yeah, try that juke move, which we've seen from One Hand Fish for the past couple of weeks has certainly improved. And we saw a play a little bit earlier that from Darnell Mooney that was able to expand that one. But back in the hand of One Hand Fish, looking to extend this lead. So I like what they've been doing. Looking to improve from that 1-1 that they've established themselves in. Certainly not a terrible place, and sure, it's a pivotal moment. But that one is going to be just straight to Bullard, wide open space, and should be able to bring it all the way to the house. A pick 6. There you go. A great play from Cheese, who's been looking to try to get back into things. He might be 0-2. The games have been close, and it's because of plays like that.
Cheese! Nice pickoff. They cut the route. They know that it's going outside onto the flat. And, unfortunately for them, we've actually seen this be pretty common. The extra point ends up falling no good. So we're all tied up 13 apiece. This one feels like it's going to be a photo finish fight. And opposite of that, our bottom right ends up being 24. The bottom left, they're taking shots at the end zone.
Yeah, they're looking for it.
Trying to.
Looking to try and find their way. Yeah, there's 2 minutes before the half. Let's hop into that one. So now bottom left, we'll go back to the Hex versus Dempster. and see if they can punch this one in. Still 0-0, still scoreless. The defense is definitely coming in handy here. We'll see as Mahomes back to drop and had a little bit of space there. It's pulled in by Xavier Worthy. Also a rookie, might be catching the nerves, but he just showed up in big ways over the course of the season.
That was a very creative catch. Worthy actually leaned into the corner as he was basically being tracked down and just kept his body on it, kept spinning, and came up with the ball. So we go within, what, about that 20-yard lines, around the 17, 18, kind of chilling. They have Sweat lined up. Sweat is such a menace. He's in the pocket. Oh, my gosh, if he was lined up, they get the interception anyway. Oh, wow. So they pressure him to make a throw. They can't get it to the receiver. And then it just turns over.
Unlucky. You're pressing in. You've got it within the red zone, and you make one move that could have been good. But unfortunately, it was just red all the way. They had a couple opportunities to pick it off. Now they got a minute 52 to roll back down the field. Plenty of time to work with, and you got all 3 timeouts. Let's see where they start. They had somebody charging at them, but that means there's wide open space, and got able to get there in time, pull it down for a 1st and 10 as Jalen Hurts stood in that pocket facing some serious pressure.
The one thing that I'm seeing right now out of this matchup is that we're definitely getting a lot more of Demstog just kind of tossing it upwards. These are floater balls. There's no direct line like on a rope type passes. It is scream it, send it, let it drop into where the end of the route is going to be. So eventually that coverage may be able to kind of take advantage of how much time it takes to be able to get there. They clear the backfield again. They send it up. This is a chance ball, and while there's a chance it gets intercepted, Watson has an open lane. Can he just get it to the pylon? It looks like it's going the other way. So our first score of the game will be a pick 6.
Man, 2 back-to-back pick 6s to kick off this segment is crazy, but that's what we got here as Hex able to fight off what was a unfortunate situation in the red zone. Very next play goes out and gets the job done here to take the early lead. Point afters haven't been exactly automatic, but this one will go. So it's 7-0 lead, and we'll bring it back down, back out to the mainframe. And we'll check on some other matchups here. 24-0 count currently from Volk and Justin. So let's go up top. 13-13, 3 minutes, 34 seconds left. So we'll go back into that matchup now between Cheese and a one-hand fish. As driving right now is in the perspective of Cheese to the flat, but it was covered all the way.
That was a tough throw because they did have basically a defensive lineman like straight in Love's face, and so he kind of did the finger point flick. It's what you do with a frisbee. Don't think it works too well with football. He did have it on the line. 2nd down, another throw, a screen. They have a good pickup, and that'll be a 1st down. That was a well-designed play.
Yeah, it was, and you get Josh Jacobs out into a little bit of space, and there wasn't a whole lot, so eventually got pressured, got tackled right there inside the 40, though. So still being able to tick down this clock in full control. And an opportunity to take the lead here as the 1st and 10 will go to Jacobs again. He's got space to work. A good cutback. Sauls, all sorts of space there, able to pick up 7.
Could have had just a little bit more. If maybe they hit that A gap, they kind of went wide. Expected more of the guard to kind of pull inward and see if they get a body, but still ended up with 7 in the bucket. Trying to really establish the ground game now. Jacobs will fall forward. I think that gets them good for a 1st. No, they're going to be really close on this one. So you could actually, I mean, it looks like they're going to kind of go for that in like a nosedive, but you can actually play fake from this into more, but they're just going to keep ground and pounding.
Yeah, why not? When you got Josh Jacobs, totally makes sense. And you got the lead blocker and A.J. Dillon, which is not a big man, by the way. So we'll see if they get that done. So let's take a peek as they're about to run it up the middle, I believe. No, they're going to pivot to the QB sneak and a 1st down. So let's go back out to the main frame as they do pick it up. As there is just a limited time there at the bottom right game, 30-0 right now. So looks like Justin Ellis being able to get out to a hot start there and being able to take a big lead.
Yeah, let's drop in with them. Why not? It makes sense to be able to see at least kind of a focus into this now, because it will be Valk that is on the Bills. So a chance for them to start here as they'll be going just short, maybe around that 25-yard line. So, I mean, it's 30-0. Obviously, we adults, we know some good games, especially because we're old and we grew up on them. So let's see if the youngsters able to find at least some level to start maybe working their way back into this game.
And with Josh Allen, all things are possible. Oh, unfortunately, will be picked off there, and it'll be all the way back. And that one, again, the read over the middle was correct. Maybe go a little bit further to your next target, and you would have had a chunk of yards, but just read well by a defense, and that's all a learning experience, finding the right plays at the right time, making the right reads, and that one picked for 6, and 36-0 means that this one will likely be over shortly here.
Yeah, he did have a second target a little deeper, just from the left hash that was starting to make that post out right. And unfortunately, they went for something that was really, really deep. So that one will actually end up being the director of education with Stay Plugged In bullying these kids. I can't believe it. How could you?
I'm calling you out. Let's go back to the main frame now. We got 2 more matches left. And there we go. Down to the last 0. And it's 19-13, so touchdown punched in, as you can see from Cheese, looking at their first win. Listen, their matches have been extremely close over the first 2 weeks. He's looking to edge one out. We'll see if they can get that done. In the meantime, a 14-0 lead, as you'll see another game where one team looking to pull away, but we'll see if Dimstog has an answer there as Hax jumps out to that 14-0 lead.
Yeah, we got, a minute and a half in one, 50 seconds in the other. Both teams just scored. Jordan Love, wouldn't exactly trust them to go and get all those running touchdown all the time, so they will rush their way out. Actually coming out of the end zone, a bit quirky into that other match out of Hex and Dimstog end up kind of back and forth. So this very tight contest on either side, especially from our Green Bay region. Oh my goodness, they're actually tracking them down. They barely get that ball out of their hands.
Yeah, barely do. Meal on the bottom right. And we'll just stay in the main frame here because we get to see the best of both worlds here at this point in time. Because literally, the teams that are trailing have this opportunity before halftime. A unique opportunity for us to watch both. Hurts over the middle. That's dangerous. It was tipped and picked off. X all the way to the house. What a play again defensively. That's their second pick 6. And now they're up 20-0.
All right, give me the reels. Give me the rules. Give me the ideas here. In Madden, if you hold down, you can charge your throw, right? Put some extra spice on it, or because we've seen only basically floater throws from out of, I believe it is. Hold that thought. Yes, from out of Dimstog. So Dimstog, he's had some good looks, but he keeps just kind of tossing it up. I feel like they have to kind of charge some of these throws a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. And that's all about the learning process here. Because if you pick up Madden for the first time, or whether you're just like relatively familiar and just want to jump back in to have some fun here while you get to learn some stem in the meantime, you learn those kind of lessons. And maybe you don't know, but, watching back, maybe you do now. That if you do hold that, especially against zone coverage, which we've seen a lot of, you can certainly pick your points. It's what we saw Drew Brees do to get so successful over the course of the NFL season. But because it's 21-0 in one side, we're actually going to transition. Let's go ahead and focus in the other match right now as we speak, as Atlanta has a chance to tie it up. One-hand fish driving, also a 3rd and inches, trying to get a first down.
They're going to actually drop back in the pocket from that 3rd down, and maybe because they think that this is 4-down territory, it's going to be a pickup by London, and he's a tall target. Ultimately gets rolled down. So, it's about usurping expectations, being able to subvert all of that and see what you want to do next on a very close quarters call. You go for that pass, and now they've got all the options in the world. They're going to be throwing this one pretty darn deep, but it gets picked off. Alexander has a chance to take it to the big house.
Will this be his second pick 6? It sure will be. Alexander to the house. Jeez, looking to get it done here. Like I mentioned, I said he might be 0-2, but Cheese is somebody to watch. Was hanging out with us in chat last week and said we're starting to put something together. I'm excited for next week, and look as it's certainly manifesting, at least in the first half. Sure, 30 seconds left on the clock for one-hand fish, but a great play defensively from Cheese.
That's huge. I mean, especially when we were talking about like doing, having confidence, being able to kind of learn into the game, be it from your project and you're trying to get better at it. And definitely there's a lot of good love that comes around from these programs that we've already seen under Green Bay for the last couple of weeks. And Cheese has been improving. One-hand fish. This is it's been tough for him the last couple of drives. Hoping to see if they can start at least mounting something. They're gonna have about 30 seconds or so going in to remaining for this first half. Oh, great move, but 2 more guys fill that space.
Yeah, Ray McLeod tried to swing that out right, which was originally, based on the read of where the blockers were going, seemed like it was questionable until you saw them kind of hide behind that blocker. Then the AI had no idea where they were. Love that creative play. So now it'll be first down. Sure, he threw a pick six, but now an opportunity to get right back into arm's reach if you can. But that one dropped off and read well. So only 1 yard. When you got 20 seconds left, you got to go down the field.
Yeah, you got to, even if you're aiming for the flats, you still have 3 timeouts. So you have the chance to be able to pick chunk yardage if you can. Feels like they're actually going to fake that one. No, they're going to try and bring this one back. Penix is going to roll, and that's burning a lot of time, but he's got an open man. Pitts picks it up, and he gets out of bounds. That was huge, Bear.
Big play. Love it. 13 seconds. We said, got to go down the field. Now inside the 40. Well, I guess right at the 40 will be great here for them. King, welcome into the stream. We appreciate you being here and hanging out with us. And also Mr. Purple, the educator himself, in here saying, yeah, they were definitely improving quickly. We go back down. 1st and 10.
Uh-oh.
Penix, not a whole lot of options except one wide open. Touchdown with a big play to Kyle Pitts. That won't happen in real life, but in Madden, you got a shot.
I mean, you say that, but I've seen crazier things, and just as much so. Pitts got literally no one knew where he was. That very white uniform just invisible on green and yellow markings. Apparently, they were on the corner at the pylon. There was double coverage to the top man, and the discipline just kind of broke down. So, and they're able to pull within 7. Huge pickup before the half turns over. They're trying to pooch kick it short. This might be able to burn the remainder of the clock. No, they're going to have 1 second. Look at Hail Marys.
I was just watching that Pitts play develop, and I didn't think that was a possibility, and it certainly happened and manifested. So, one opportunity for Cheese to try to re-extend that lead. Nothing taken away from the huge play from One Hand Fish, but now it's an opportunity. Goes down the field, picked off. Hold that thought.
Uh-oh.
Oh, plenty of space to work with. They're getting blocked. Just an offensive lineman, but he's got some speed. Fumbled, lifted him up, and absolutely destroyed him there on the sideline. Holy cow. What a roller coaster ride of a final play before the half.
Look, if there's anything I know about the big guys up front, they are all in to hug you. So if you decide to jump, they will grab you. Don't let that happen ever again. But what a crazy way. I don't know. We had 2 turnovers in a matter of seconds. And receiving the ball here with the Falcons, that's going to be a big opportunity to maybe get in control. One Hand Fish is going to start off this first half.
Quickly to the main frame here, just so we can check on the other game as well, because they had just gotten to the half prior to. It's still 24-0. In fact, might be a little bit more here. Pacheco stepped out of bounds. Unfortunately, that's just one of the examples of Madden AI taking that extra step you don't want him to. But either way,
momentum.
You know, 100%. We'll go back into the same match, and it'll be a sack in that bottom left, so we'll focus that one yet again, as that one a little bit closer. And we'll see if they get it done. I'm hoping for a comeback on that right one, man. I want to be able to see, Demstock be able to figure things out and be able to take it to Hex here. But we'll see what happens in this one. The Cheese versus One Hand Fish, with the Fish a chance to get closer, potentially even tie or take the lead.
Trying to just protect it. You're going to have the tight end kind of chilling out here, tiptoeing that last line. It looks like they had a big loss to start things off with, so they were behind the sticks. You got 5 yards to go here on 3rd down. Everyone all lined up, and you're going to have both your safeties playing very far back. They don't want to let the deep bomb happen, but they're not going to have any bombs being thrown as Penix picks him up and then throws him back down. They want a flag. They want to be able to get something, but wow. Yeah, got pressure from off the outside of that perimeter.
Yeah, nothing else you can do but punt here in this situation, so not able to escape the pressure that we've seen from Cheese. So now it's adjustment time from One Hand, who now will need to figure out how they're going to combat the pressure that Cheese has been able to bring defensively. Those blitzes have certainly come in handy. It's one of the big reasons why they've been able to challenge One Hand Fish and keep it at like an 7-point differential, which has been tough to try to dig out of. But not on this drive. It'll be Cheese looking to extend his drive instead.
The big news here for One Hand Fish is that Cheese with the Packers, it's not a quick strike offense. This is a grind style offense, but they can get the numbers as necessary. Reed with a huge pickup right in the middle of the breadbasket of the defense back there. So they'll come out with another pickup, another set of downs, just as fast as off the first.
King Mode in chat, by the way, has got out of his notepad. I love hearing that type of thing. Like, if you want to improve, number one way to do it is by taking notes and figuring it out. So, that being said, Cheese with a 1st and 10 at the 50. We'll hand it off to Jacobs. Nope, going to be play fake instead. We'll be out to the right, and Luke Musgrave, that momentum carries him out of bounds again. A good look, but only 2.
Yeah, bootlegs are very productive if you want to be able to clear away from an overstack of, especially kind of like your front 7. But if you have a big man like that, he is not going to turn on a dime. They just don't have the cankles for it. Jacobs is going to be able to push himself forward. I think he falls within about 3 or so. So you've less than a handful to go. You're on the forward end of the field, not in field goal range. I think I mean, obviously they're going to go for it for here, but I could see us kind of picking ourselves into four down territory depending on how this goes.
That's what I was thinking too. I thought maybe a run play might be good, especially when you have Josh Jacobs, who was able to just prove that he can just fall forward for multiple yards. They will go to the passing game, and they're going to go out wide. A floater caught and hauled in somehow. And because of that, it's Romeo Dobbs. He will pick up the first down here for Green Bay. And now it'll be that 1st and 10 from the 38.
I mean, when you do a floater like that, you're trying to get it over the defenders. You're not wanting to put it on the line. Josh Jacobs is actually going to have a chance. He can be able to make that one outside. No, he catches a shoulder, but that's good use to kind of mix up your pace of passing. So they, again, establish space with the ground game first. Looks like they're going to do it again to consistently keep them on their toes.
Off to Jacobs it'll go. Got a lead blocker out in front. Had to be patient as the big man tried to cycle through. Still only able to pick up 2. And down to 2 minutes, 10 seconds left in the 3rd. We've already got the lead. I love this strategy of just kind of melting the clock here at this point. In addition, you got the first down by pass. Well, they're going to be hungry for some more here on the 2nd and 8 as they line up for it.
And they're showing 2 deep toss, and they're actually going to bring it to the weak side. They had a chance. They had it audibled away, and they made it go out to the left. So you get caught in traffic. That's a loss of 3. So, like you mentioned, you're losing clock. Doesn't really matter. You're up 7 right now here for Cheese. He wants to be able to make this the most difficult thing ever for one-hand fish. He's going to drop back out in shotgun across the middle. Reed picks it up again, and they're inside the 10.
Jalen Reed, I feel like doesn't get enough love on this Madden game. Certainly was a deadly receiver. Got injured over the course of the season, but I'm sure the stats are pretty well met here. So looking for the second option, definitely helpful. Now over to Jacobs. Room to work with. Extending that lead to 33-20.
You know what, Bear? I saw this happening over time, and it was a matter of will Cheese use it, because he's been cutting around to that A and B gap, seeing if he can go right around that guard to tackle area. And they had actually had a player-controlled defender right inside that gap, but instead of keeping it narrow, he went outside the hash, went wide, and that's something that's been missing. Even when they tried it with a toss, they still brought it like very, very close into the big men on the line of scrimmage. Seeing them stretch this field laterally gave them that chance.
Now Cheese trying to hold on to a lead. It's
oh my goodness,
that one right into the fans. Oh, God. I might have caught that one if it was draft weekend, just outside the stadium. That one not great, but it's still at the 41 regardless.
that had a tacked on penalty. So yeah, we're all the way out here. that caught me so off guard.
Back to the main frame we'll go here. As just like that ball, we will go to the right, much too far. Actually, technically it was left, but it was the right of the, you get it. Anyways.
Viewers leftish, rightish.
All right, let's give some love over to the other one. I know the closest match we got up is on the left side. This one's 31-0. So really, at this point, we're looking for a Dimstog redemption, if you will, but it's going to have to come in the form of defense, as once again, it's Hex that's driving, who's been really putting an exclamation point on this first week that we've seen them on this live channel.
This is what every Chiefs fan's dream would have been for the Super Bowl, but it was definitely not reversed. This.
It was the opposite.
Yeah. It was a complete opposite. But what's crazy is that at the beginning of this game, everything was so locked in. Defense opened things up, and on the other side of the field. So you got to be able to play both ways. And so far, Hex has really shown that they're going to punish anything that Dimstog leaves behind. They're going out to the flats again. Can they give Pacheco to be even more of a workhorse than they were before? They're going to have 4th and 4, and so there's a chance. I wonder if they're going to go for that field goal.
Yeah, it's a good question. They are going to go for it. Looking to put it just out of reach, and they might after this field goal. Obviously, like we mentioned, not automatic, but unless you're Hex, who has been absolutely fantastic from the get-go, a 34-0 lead means that it should be Safe to say that this one is out of hand, and that Hex will likely get their first win on the season, and it is just a fantastic showing from Hex.
Honestly, this is exactly what you want to do if you want to be able to post up into your region that is kind of showing, all right, who's our first competitors, who's want to establish the pecking order. Well, Hex apparently cast a spell onto everyone, and it's feeling like curses right now for Demstog. But Demstog at Occurrence Academy want to see what they can do for the remainder of this game, if they continue to play it out, if they can be able to get some scores, because you want to take those repetitions. You don't get live game against your true opponents very often, especially if it's just on a weekly basis. You want to be able to, start getting just your practice in here as much as you can. But I mean, Chiefs are a great team. As much as we like to bag on Mahomes, this squad is real good. So you got to watch out for the firepower they obviously brought today.
All right, we're gonna go out to the mainframe while they figure out what's going on with this kickoff.
Wait, up.
They figured it out. So one last chance for Demps, I suppose. Looks like maybe after this sequence here, one last opportunity to put one on the board and maybe gain some momentum. So we'll stay. Looks like that's going to call it, actually. So let's go back out to the mainframe then, where we will see the winner, actually, Hex. So we'll officially announce. Looks like it will be by forfeit here. So Hex, maybe even Mercy Rule, but Hex, just an incredible exclamation point like we mentioned as well. Hex, if you're in chat, holy cow, man. That was fantastic, Joe.
Showing us what the Chiefs could have, maybe should have been, but instead, we'll get to find out how those guys will go into week number 4. Later on, though, or actually, I guess right now, we'll be finding out if this continues to extend. Cheese is hungry, not just for the cheddar, but to continue to get better. That is a big pickup. Landman, or Landman, I guess, depending on how hard you hit the A. Great pickup in the middle of the field. And one-hand fish is less than 4 minutes. That's actually a ton of time to be able to get 2 scores.
Landman for fish. Got that one. Love to see it. Hey, defensively, that's great. If Cheese is able to hold off this time around this week, I will say he'll have a lot of cheese heads, a lot of fans to support him behind it. But one-hand fish looking to play spoilers after that last turnover. Very good in the patience play to get it over to Ray Red Cloud for about 7. It'll be 2nd and 3 from the 44.
You and I talked about it last week, about how often we saw people just go too far back into the pocket, and you would have those outside rushers catch them. Pocket navigation is such a tough skill, and they're actually doing it very well with Penix. Unfortunately, though, the time they decided to step up is when the right side tackle was able to come through and just lay him on the floor.
Yeah, to have good pocket or to have good pocket presence, you need a pocket. Unfortunately, it collapsed for him there. There's nothing you can do, especially when it's just AI control over the middle. Cheese again, Walker with the interception. We already saw a couple pick sixes. Now another interception, and Cheese feeling it with 3:33. Might be the dagger.
Walker running like the dude from The Replacements. Just so excited to have the ball, not knowing what to do with his legs except drive those puppies into the ground. So a good pickup, 3:33, and that is detrimental to one-hand fish. Jacobs, he's going to continue to weaponize him to just run more of this clock.
And had some space to even gain more yardage, but at this point in time, you're right. The clock is all you're really worried about here at this point in time. Kill some clock in this 2-possession game. As in 2nd and 7, Josh Jacobs trying to cut it back in, but by the time they were able to cut, well, all the rest of that quick Atlanta defense was able to rotate around and get that tackle before a loss and make it 3rd and 9.
Should, depending on how this one goes, run into the 2-minute warning. He's actually going to bleed it all the way down to about 2:10 before he takes this one out. That's freebie. Oh, boy. Ooh. That one was a very tight quarters throw as you had them immediately squeezed in, and they just basically let the middle nose guard loose.
Terrell Jr. was just that close to being able to get a pick 6 and put them right back into this one. We go to a 2-minute warning now, 34-20. Before we kick off the 7 o'clock block, which will be directly after this one. So make sure you stay tuned after this. A long field to try to put more points on the board. Looking good. And it is here. 37-20 will now make it a 3-possession game. And seems like out of reach here. So Cheese that much closer to getting their first win on the season.
One-hand fish. They'll have some chances, but they're going to have to score ultra fast. And unfortunately for them, they did use 2 timeouts to try and preserve some clock. Didn't really work. And they actually, bringing this out will burn even more time. The macro game into Madden is really important because you have to play not just QB, not just whoever you kind of player shift to, but also the coach idea. Being able to really kind of get your overall game sense ready about how you're going to manage from end to end, first quarter to last.
Penix Jr., plenty of room to work with, and going to gain a lot on this one. The legs will bring them all the way down to midfield. You want to get down on the ground, though. Ball on the ground. Picked up by Cheese. Oh, unfortunately. Penix, the rookie, and one-hand fish, relatively newish at the game as well. You got to slide in that situation.
Yeah, QBs are just not good at handling the ball. Your running backs are your best. Big men are as well as tight ends. But, I mean, even if he gets up to the gut right here, 100 seconds to go, that last time out is looking like it's, well, it probably gets used just to be able to have us chill for all of a second. So that's the last one here for one-hand fish. But QBs go to the ground. They either get a score after handing it off or throw it to someone, but you got to have them take a seat. He's not meant to be able to run like that.
Yeah, I know, especially if it's a rookie in Madden. It does matter. It's brutal. If you don't slide, the ball control is unfortunate there. So that being said, Cheese played it well, was able to get them, but a sack here at 30-19. The clock is going to be well low before they get this possession. But I love the attitude of one-hand fish to keep in this game mentally.
Yeah, honestly, playing to the very last. One-hand fish, we've seen so many reps out of them, and I know that they want to continue to improve. There is no one home. Jacobs, they'll be able to get one. They might be able to even get it done. Do they just park it? They will go out of bounds, and I think they'll chill with it. Get this bus to the 2-yard line, and then just take some knees.
This is why I was shocked coming into this week that Cheese was 0-2. The way that we've seen him play over the past couple of weeks, I honestly feel like his first couple of weeks were against some of the best that we'll see. Yeah. And just like a few minimal mistakes as they're warming back up to the game of Madden or warming up for a season, right? I kind of get relaxed in. Some of that pressure can really mount to you, but very smart play there. That is a wise football play that you love to see from some of these players. Cheese doing a great job. They will run out the clock and will be your winner here. So we can announce it, a win for Bayport High School over the Green Bay Southwest High School squad. And Bayport has been looking for wins, and you'll find it through Cheese. Certainly one of the best for Bayport, and it proves it here tonight against One-Hand Fish.
They will both go to 1-2 after 3 weeks of player league action. So, Bear, we're starting to see kind of how everything is shaping up across the entirety of this, at least this Green Bay region. We got our early flavors as well of some Carolina action. So we get some good looks here for our first 6 o'clock block combination of games. But there's still a lot more that's happening tonight.
Including another round of Green Bay and Carolina action is going to take place after this quick break. Don't you go anywhere.
I switched to Brightspeed Fiber Internet. Things like slow speeds and random dead spots really brought out the troll in me. I mean, I spent hours causing trouble. But then I switched to Brightspeed's fast, reliable fiber internet, and the rest is sunshine and unicorns. Looks amazing, Barbara.
Ultra-fast, Brightspeed Fiber Internet. Switch to the bright side.
Get ready for the first ever Stay Plus Formula STEM Esports Cup presented by Brightspeed Fiber Internet. The season kicks off March 20th, so gear up and don't miss your chance to make history. Open registration is now live for high schools across North America. Join this groundbreaking competition featuring weekly qualifiers, an 8-week season, and a thrilling 40-person championship event. Race for $5,000 in prizes and weekly rewards. Participate in live test sessions of racetracks led by a professional driver and explore exciting career opportunities in the world of racing. Your journey to the podium starts now. Register today.
Racing.staypluggedin.com. You're going to want to be there. Just like you're here right now, and we appreciate you being here for the Players League. Week number 3. Joining me again is Mr. Monkey Man. I'm Bearlight. And let's get into the 7 o'clock block. Hello. Let's go, Monkey Man. What matchups are we looking at, sir?
7 o'clock block. It's time for some Green Bay. We've got Light B from Green Bay Southwest. And you know him, you love him, you've seen him twice. It's Tux Bear from Bayport High School. They absolutely blew players out of the water in week number 1. Their second week ended up going a bit sideways. Light B hoping to get things started here just the same. But this matchup, it's going to be fun. We've seen a lot of Green Bay really getting the identity of who's kind of racking and stacking the best way. And like I mentioned, Tux Bear, they've been able to kind of take general control. They only have a +1 point differential, but they very much get these games done their way.
It's a very balanced scoreline, that's for sure. And I don't know who to pick in this one, not just because the stats aren't there for Light B quite yet, as there are in their first week of competition, but also it's Bear versus Light. And as Bear Light, I don't know if I could pick a favorite here in this one. So we'll have to just move on to the next matchup instead, which Justin Ellis back at it again, our educator with the double header, if you will. They'll be going against Full Vex from Kern's Academy here today, looking to take on the bully, if you will.
The bully, if the director of education, quote unquote, the bully, just has.
Well, we love Justin, yeah.
Has their own like record player. They have like torn off sleeves for like a denim jean like jacket. I don't know.
Totally not what he looks like at all. Let's go to the stats. We don't, which we don't have lots of. They're both starting off. So Director of Ed is 1-0 now. Full Vex not playing quite yet, but starting to get their debut. Back to that Carolina region, who's just now kicking off. So like we mentioned, it's always fun to see these kids in their first week of action. Really sets the bar, sets the momentum, sets the tone for the rest of the season.
I do wonder, because I want to see if eventually someone will usurp the director of education, good old Justin Ellis, from his seat. Will Justin go undefeated against everyone? Is he going to be bullying everyone in the Carolina region? I need to know.
Not if we play tonight. I'll challenge him myself to some Madden. We'll see if he gets it done. All right. Listen, that's a challenge. I'm calling you out. Let's go into the match board now and check it out. It'll be Tux Bear versus Light B. The Bear Light battle, as I've named it, from the Green Bay region will be on your left, and Full Vex, who I'm secretly cheering for at this point in time, for Kern's Academy, will be on that right side, playing a Cincinnati, a team that we haven't seen any of these players play quite yet.
Actually, I want to check out that first one. If we end up focusing in, I want to see if they can get an early start against Justin. Just be able to see. All right, let's be like there. Let's find our way through. And also this matchup, you keep looking at the Bear and the Light. I'm looking at the B and the Tux. You know,
yeah,
little B and a Tux.
Little B. Oh, dude, that is adorable.
Like it's basically B movie, right?
Yeah, not to mention it's a lion versus a raven. So like. that's a little bit more challenging, I guess you would say. So we'll see if they do get that early start here. There's David Montgomery, who is just great moves.
Oh, wait. Oh, I thought they had the third one. Wow. Okay, early moves already being picked up right now. That is huge out of Tuxbear.
Yeah, it's Talkspair again at that 1-1 mark. Showed up in week 1. In week 2, did not play poorly by any means. This is relatively close, but right now, definitely making a name for themselves against Light B, who might just have to get warmed up. Remember, this is their first match of the season. They do get a tackle here just 6 yards after the line of scrimmage. Should be 2nd and 4 in that match.
All right, so we'll see how that one ends up going. But again, I mean, Philly on the mind, Philly on the brain, and this is a long run from out of Justin. See if they can get slowed down. So we're starting on the ground in a big way from both these teams that really do establish themselves in huge ways from that ground. But a fantastic strike from Goff over to Patrick. He's got a tightrope to work. Oh, and that leap will catch him at the 1.
That's crazy. I've never seen that leap work. It's got to be that buff from the Ravens defense, because like, holy cow, he covered some serious distance. So good for them if they can hold it here. 1st and goal from the 1, so it should be a punch in, especially when you have David Montgomery up the gut, and sure enough, an easy run in. 6-0 the score as Tuxbear up first.
Okay, wow. It did not take very long at all. So as we get to see them go 7 up, or well, at least 6 up with an extra point or even a 2-point conversion on the way within a minute, Bear. That one on the other side of things, we do get Fullvex that's trying to fend off Justin, who is trying their campaign from around that 34-yard line, and the extra point is in fact confirmed.
Yeah, there you go. 7-0 in that matchup. Meanwhile, Justin trying to do some more damage here tonight. Of course, he picked the Super Bowl winners too, but hey, listen. Able to at least get down to the 31, so we'll focus in on that game and see if a defensive stand is in order. It's the first time we'll see Cincinnati as well, so we'll go into match B here and see if Wolfex can't hold off the director of ed.
All right, got to show the administration what's what. What can you do? They have a solid front 4 up there for the Bengals, but you've really got to see how you can get kind of beyond them, and they're doing so off the arm of Hurts. So that's going to be a fantastic pickup over to the big man, and he'll be dragged down, but still a new set of downs.
Yeah, Uzoma coming over from, I believe it was the Jets. Don't hold me to it. But able to gain some serious yardage. Could be wrong. I think I am wrong, actually. I think I'm going to think. Anyways.
Doesn't matter.
Your response was, Oh, there's Barkley. We know what he's capable of.
Wow.
Able to march it down inside the 5, or to the 5, rather.
That was just great gap recognition, and just upfield knowing where he's able to kind of gash between. Saquon Barkley is a menace, and as everyone kind of slowly sheds their block, they get all the way down to that 5. This is exactly why Justin was able to win their previous match handedly. Might be able to do so again. They know the weapons that are at present. They give it on the Jets sweep, but they will take him down behind the line of scrimmage.
Nice defensive play there for sure. Uzoma from Cincinnati, by the way, the team that he's playing. So I botched an opportunity for the storyline. But you know what? The story remains as you see Fullvex trying to hold off Justin. Here's the second and goal, rather. The 6-yard line, trying to get it all the way across. Plenty of room to work with. Devontae Smith able to punch it in for the 6-0 lead.
Slim Reaper sharpening the scythe, as they sent actually 2, and they could have really gone to either player at that given time. So great recognition. They drag it wide. They're forcing this defense to chase them. They're looking for a 2-point conversion. Is it just no mercy from the old director of ed? It's none. These kids are learning today.
Listen, the best way that you can learn a game specific way is by watching, somebody who's extremely familiar with the game, which clearly it's not just Smash Bros for Justin. So he's doing some great things. 8-0 right now, but I do want to see this first drive, if you agree. I think we just park it here for Fullvex. Okay, perfect.
All right, let's see what Fullvex can do. All right, we're big Fullvex fans, like right here, right now. I've already written Fullvex on my shirt. I'm not going to prove that, but I have.
Fullvex, full send.
Full send, all in.
Let's see it, baby. First peek at Joe Burrow. Chase Brown in the backfield. You've got a great receiving core. And T. Higgins to the right. Out left, you have Jamar Chase. And the first connection there for 7. That'll be 2nd and 3.
Just to kind of give you overall kind of stats from their season, Joe Burrow nearly crested 5,000 passing yards.
Jeez.
Yeah. Whereas the next man up, and they had 990 rush yards. So this was definitely a team reliant on what Joe Burrow can put through the air.
He's got a bit of legs too, which is surprises some people at first glance, but can certainly get it done if they need to. And there's going to be a lot of space up the middle. Look as they completely ditch their middle linebackers, but Carter's going to be tracking that one down. Whoa. But the user won't be able to get to him in time, as they are able to find one over the middle. It is Gisecki. Over from Miami. See, I do know some trade offers there. Okay, I know ball, but he does connect there for the first down regardless.
That was on a line, by the way. That was right over that midfield, and then able to just get it to him. Oh, this is in triple coverage, and luckily the defenders fight over it. They'll slap it down instead of going for the interception. We saw Bond be very effective at that, right around that 5 to 10 yard area. Gotta hold your breath if that one was being tossed up. Trying to do it again, way outside. It will be intercepted this time, and he's going to try and bring it back some.
Oh, man, went across the field there, trying to maybe open space and see and explore what might be free, but there was no space to work with, but it doesn't matter because a change of possession there, and I don't blame that. It's a good read, a one-on-one. In those situations, perhaps you throw the floater because Gisecki's got the height advantage in that moment. And even though they did, it was just a great read all around. The ball a little bit placed behind them when they needed to have a little more distance and an interception because of it.
All right, Justin, what are you doing? Bringing it with Saquon Barkley. Little guy will he's little, but he's big. He's like a mini Titan at times, but he ends up finding a nice couple to start things off. And I do like the adjustments that we saw when it came Super Bowl time. They knew that they had to isolate and just completely focus in on them, but then that freed up so many weapons. In Madden, you can kind of just use your weapons at will, so I wonder if they'll start trying to trim this run game a bit, and they're making it difficult, but that excellent move will turn into 3rd and inches.
The way he danced through that looked like the Saquon Barkley. I don't know whether the credit Justin, which I guess is part of it, but then the credit Madden for making that look so accurate. The way he was able to utilize that cut was just absolutely outstanding. Good vision as well, as it will be now 3rd and inches. And the handoff inside, it's Kenneth Gainwell for the first down. As what feels like no more useless role than being behind Saquon Barkley, but Kenneth Gainwell has been doing this for years.
I mean, they got to have a 2-horse race. If you have only a 1-horse deep stable, eventually they're going to break its legs, and then you just have someone becoming glue. So you gotta find a different way. Give him at least some rest, because then he comes out here and the ground and pound begins again. You were talking about how Madden has such a great incorporation of like general kind of different animations and everything. Do you think they've added the reverse hurdle leap?
I want it. I've been talking about this for weeks, man. I want to see it. And I think they did, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I could have promised that I've seen it, but I don't want to because I'm not 100% sure. It would be something else. They need to make, like, combos, like in a Street Fighter game where where you have to, like, hit the right buttons in order to make it happen. I feel like that would be fair. But if you're just hitting that left and right, it's totally not. Like, that situation there, you're just back hurling those guys. That'd be unfair.
I have done quick research. They did add the move to the game.
I heard it. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know how you pull that off, but, maybe Justin will show us. Is he going to be tracked down? I thought he was getting tracked down. Just move. Holy cow. From side to side, swimming. The dude is breaking through borders and taking over territory.
At this point in time, I think Justin's just going to do it to show off. Come on, buddy. 8-0 now. Hey, listen, the no mercy rule. And high schoolers these days, they say no mercy. Like, think about it. If you're letting me win, how does that make you feel, Monkey Man?
I would feel good to have some points, but true. Earn it. Every great victory that is earned feels so much sweeter than one that's just given over to you. So we have the first quarter coming to a close. It's 0-8, and they are stomping and battering down at the door. This next and goal, or rather, they have a chance for getting over to a first down. There's a whole other set of downs about 4 yards out.
Yeah, and if you get down to the 1, easy punch in, tush push, Ben Eagles for a long time identity. Not the correct order of words, but you understand. All right. Well, let's see. At the 6-yard line now, here's Hurts. We'll see if they punch it in. On the other matchup, though, 7-3 right now, advantage Tuxbear. We're keeping an eye there as we see Justin hand it off to A.J. Brown, and a heavy runner, a big boy, if you will. The number 1 wide receiver for the Eagles will make it 3rd and 1, but down in the bottom left, you see Amon-Ra St. Brown with the juke as well. Tuxbear going to go up 13-3.
I swear, every time we get to see Tuxbury scores, he scored inside the first 55 seconds. Oh, and they actually trip up. I think that is Gainwell at the line on our other match number 2. But Tuxbury, he scored early, and then the rest of that quarter must have been a stalemate because it was all of 3 points acquired by Light B. And then up to this moment, it was fine until they were able to get a super long score.
Yeah, and with plenty of time left in the half, they'll be up 14-3, 8-0 right now, 4th and 1. We'll see what Justin gets with here from the 3-yard line, see if he can't pick up the first down, as the director of ed will go for it here. Because why wouldn't you? They're the shotgun, by the way. That should be a tush-push situation in all reality, but you don't have that option here in the game, so they will try to go for it there, the bottom right. Rolling out Hurts, and he got it. That's 6 more. It'll be 14-0 for the director of ed.
It's just so unfair. As soon as you get him in shotgun, that means he's got space to accelerate, and he's going to warm up and then just start sprinting to the outside. If you stick to reading that pass, then you're basically dusted. A nice pickup on the other side of things. He runs into his own man, trying to be able to make a cut inside when we're looking at this start to work now. Remember, Baltimore is a highly weaponized team. They have so many options to be able to work with, so maybe something going the other way for Light B.
Yeah, we've heard word that there's going to be more Ravens matchups tonight based on who the players have selected here tonight. So that means that, you want to go to those teams. They've had so much success. Every team that utilized the Ravens had a win in week 1. And so they're that powerful with Derrick Henry, like you mentioned, like Lamar Jackson, what he's able to accomplish. So let's go ahead and focus in, especially after this catch here to the bottom left, and see if they can't punch this one in to try to bring it within 1 possession as we go left side here. And it'll be up to Light B to try to get it done. Jackson rolling out right, room to work with. Did he cross the line of scrimmage? I don't think he did, but they're down to the 1. Rashad Bateman couldn't quite get in, but it will count. 1st and goal from the 1.
Because he had shown the run earlier and the frequency to try and do that, he thought he could bait a lot of players. He had 4 defenders that were basically within 5 yards of him. There was still a lot of coverage, but he found at least someone in that little zone pocket to finally get it to. So now you have to deal with the goal line stand if you are Tuxbear, and this is finally a moment to heat up for Light B if they're able to make this one work out. So he's got some downs, and he's got a big runner, but it's just going to be more Jackson more of the time. He'll find his first touchdown.
I like that decision. I get it, the shotty, why are you going for it? Just like go ahead and load it up and run it in with Derrick Henry especially, but it's just complete throw off, right? You never know, especially when you're going up against Madden with some player that you haven't played before. A lot of times the urgency of pass play seems imminent. So to be able to be in that shotgun, try to bait out a couple to the left. We'll miss the extra point here, though, so that'll make it a 5-point game. Not ultimately devastating here because 4 versus 5 is not just a field goal away anyway. So it remained a 1-possession game, but a 14-9 nonetheless.
Yeah, so gonna recover that later. The only difference that might make is if you end up with a 2-point lead and then a field goal could win it. But the math doesn't math unless you're able to make more math happen. 20 out to the 25 off of that. So now does Tuxbear begin a campaign? Last time that we saw them score, apparently it took an entire quarter for anything to really happen. It was a field goal for Light B, but for Tuxbear, he wants to get right back down to the ground. Gives it over to Montgomery, but he's swallowed up right outside the line of scrimmage.
You have to against Montgomery. If he gets his legs turning, difficult to stop. Not from the speed aspect. Obviously, that's more of a
power.
Yeah, exactly. More of a Jahmyr Gibbs type of situation. But it will be a screenplay. Set up to Montgomery. Lots of space to work with. 1 to B. Good cut. And more yardage gained here by Tuxbear, who's been great once again this week.
That was fantastic. A great setup, making it look like it was yet again going to be another run, and you have so much power for him from this. I mean, they're already deep with both Gibbs and as well as Vac. Gibbs is going to be able to cut it up. See if they can do it again. Easy footwork, and it's wide open grass and spaces. Tuxbear is going to draw it all the way through. And the man that we saw be able to find so much success in the previous couple of weeks, he's doing it again.
Yeah, Jameer Gibbs talked about his speed and one move to make, and you are gone. See you later. Yeah, that's a good extra point as well. So a 21-9 lead as they start to inch farther and farther away. So let's go back to the board and the main frame and check out the other matchup. But 24-0 and Justin driving. So Justin once again putting it up as that's Saquon Barkley getting denied here. So we're seeing the defense trying to hold up yet again a full Vex, but having some trouble on that side of things.
It's difficult because, I mean, you do have the Eagles as they are. There's so many separate ideas that you can go with, and then if you just kind of hold your ground, oh my gosh, did that get in? No, but it's going to be first and goal. There was yet another line to gain, and it feels all but inevitable, especially with all the extra options that you got, be it on the ground or in the air.
We'll head back to the other game. The 21-9 and a chance for Light B to really pull this one back close. Yeah, within one possession if they get a big play here. Chance. Bateman was open on the right side. Going to try to sneak it into the flowers instead. Maybe favoring speed over the open receiver there of Bateman. But regardless, it'll fall down on the ground. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Trying to get it right at the line to gain, too. So they're going to be playing some of that nickel coverage to have to kind of deal with that. As they drop back, you see them actually having some very deep zone play. Oh, that's exactly where they had him. Joseph has a free look. Is this going to be another? You betcha. They can't make the leap work this time. And this is starting to become a runaway train, and I know they play that train horn at the end of every score, so this is going to be an even louder stadium for Tux Bear.
And you can't stop the moving train. And once again, that's so difficult to defend. The nickel was right, because right at that 5-yard line is where you're going to try to sneak it in. Just no room to work with. And a defense that was prepared for it. Tux Bear has been phenomenal on the offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball as well now. And we'll extend that lead to 28-9. So a bit of one-sided action here in the 7 o'clock block, and it might end a little bit sooner than we prefer here, as both halftimes will require a big comeback in order to manifest an exciting second block.
You know what? Sometimes you go down deep, and we actually saw, I think it was either last week or the previous, where someone went down 20-6, and then won. I think it was like 52-20. It depends on when you begin ramping up it, but you have to be able to find that first campaign that can get you downfield. We've already hit the 2-minute warning and more. So what can be done by Light B? They're going to go over to Derrick Henry. Feels like they've been an underutilized weapon in the arsenal so far. Bit unsharpened, but they're going to grind some of this game.
You might as well here at this point. You got a minute 35. You want to use all of it instead of maybe surrendering another interception too. But the problem is you're not gaining a whole lot off of it. It's being read as the nickel guards about 5 yards back. That's why they call it the nickel. And because of that, you're able to play the best of both worlds defensively. This one going to go over the middle. It was dangerous, but Isaiah likely will not pull it in. Oh, I thought they had it. They dropped it last second there, Hell Monkey Man.
Yeah, I thought that one's actually all the way into his chest. Unfortunate. And now 4th and 9. You can feel the desperation as they want to go for it here. But if they don't get this, there is a very short field that's going to be in front of them. They actually throw it into coverage. Barnes picks it up. Does he force Lamar Jackson to have to go to a tackle? No, he'll be all the way plastered. And it's going to fall around the 11-yard line. Worse becomes worse, Bear, as Tux Bear continues to just make things impossible for Light B.
Let me talk about Tux Bear and that defensive user created interception. Great job to roll off of where they were standing, because typically the AI will just kind of stand there in that zone, but then to proactively be able to track that ball, get the interception. And I get it. If you just knock it to the ground, it would have been about the same scenario, but the interception feels just a little bit stronger and is a bit of an exclamation point for them. So you love to see Tux Bear coming out and making a statement piece, as unfortunately for full Vex as well there in the bottom right, it looks like Justin's still out to this lead and got possession directly back. And they will get sacked there. So the defense coming up big here, which there wasn't a whole lot of defensive highlights for Cincinnati Bengals over the course of the season in real life, that is.
I'm wondering if Burrow's eventually going to maybe switch things around, come off of this team. I don't even know how many contract years he still has left with them. It feels like there's just something amiss. They were so good off of that one clear kind of run to the Super Bowl, but then everything has gone sideways from there. There needs to be some rebuilding. I can't wait for the next season. Look, I know we're not even like to the summer. We just had a Super Bowl. I love football. I want more football.
More football means more touchdowns for Tux Bear as they'll walk it right up the middle. I can see that coming as Jahmyr Gibbs had an open cage, open run up the middle. So that'll be, I believe, mercy rule before the half as well. So both of these teams, both of these games looking to end. Justin will get that last punch in as well. So that one will be 38-0 on that side. And that'll call it there as the director of ed. Certainly educating even me, because, like, holy cow, he's good at this game.
Yeah, are you still sure and certain about your challenge?
Nope. Yeah, no, that went away pretty quickly. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. You know what? Giving them a life lesson. Life comes at you fast, and they don't care about your plans. And apparently, that comes in the form of at least a 38-0 situation. So that one's gonna go over to the director of ed. He becomes 2-0 on the day. The Carolina kids got their work cut out for them if they want to finally beat the old D of E.
Yeah, it's that's how you get it done. So, listen, the best way to improve against anybody is to play one of the best in the game. If I had the opportunity to play some pros in Madden or Rocket League, my favorite game, I'd probably do so. Help me kind of learn the tail of the tape. That's Tux Bear with another interception and room to work with as well. Back on this pick six opportunity and does take it to the house. One left and still can't get back to it. So mercy roll both ways. That'll be Tux Bear with the victory in this one as well. Go ahead and bring it up. Tux Bear will move on to 2-1 with what was an incredible showing. I said it like 3 times throughout the match, and it doesn't make it any less true.
This is going to be such a tough region to have to deal with. We have gotten such good flavor and identity coming out of the Green Bay side of things. Carolina's getting bullied right now, and if I'm feeling like we have early favorites coming out of Green Bay. Yeah. It just feels like Bayport has really found some good footing, some good strides. So the rest of these regions better be watching out. Look, the NFL draft's going to be in Lambeau, and these guys clearly want to be there on home field turf.
And Lightbee's got another chance as well, as they'll be pulling a doubleheader. They'll be going up against Munch Lax fan or Lacrosse fan, I believe it is. So we'll get the word if they are here in chat. Please correct me. And plus, it's not just the kids getting bullied. Munch Lax fan, we got the confirmation there. So Munch Lax will be facing off with Lightbee, and it's director of ed that's bullying me as well. As he said, it is game time, Bear. So listen, I'm gonna have to gear up with it. I'm gonna have to get some more coffee, something to prepare for that. But that matchup's not gonna happen before the third block. So make sure you park it right here on the Stay Plugged In channel for week 3 of the Players League. We'll be right back.
Before I switched to Brightspeed Fiber Internet, things like slow speeds and random dead spots really brought out the troll in me. I mean, I spent hours causing trouble. But then I switched to Brightspeed's fast, reliable fiber internet, and the rest is sunshine and unicorns. Looks amazing, Barbara.
Ultra-fast Brightspeed Fiber Internet. Switch to the bright side.
Get ready for the first ever Stay Plus Formula STEM Esports Cup presented by Brightspeed Fiber Internet. The season kicks off March 20th, so gear up and don't miss your chance to make history. Open registration is now live for high schools across North America. Join this groundbreaking competition featuring weekly qualifiers, an 8-week season, and a thrilling 40-person championship event. Race for $5,000 in prizes and weekly rewards. Participate in live test sessions of racetracks led by a professional driver and explore exciting career opportunities in the world of racing. Your journey to the podium starts now. Register today.
Monkey Man and Bearlight back with you here in week 3 of the Players League as we move into the 8 o'clock block, the final block. And Monkey Man, we've got some good matchups here for you to finish off the night.
It's Light B bringing it back, hopefully with some education from that previous match that he lost against Tux Bear, but this one is against Munchlax fans. So Bayport, Green Bay Southwest, again throwing down with the best of them. Light B just lost their previous, and Munchlax much the same. This one, it was a tough call for them. Both guys, I think, are looking for their first big dub, considering that their first matchup was kind of a cakewalk against them.
Yeah, unfortunately, a little bit of a one-sided tilt, but it was both ways, right? So, you know, the only way to get that confidence going is by being able to get that big first win. We'll see which of those two get it done. In the matchup number 2 for this final block as well, we got Flame Dude representing that Bayport High School that's been extremely good tonight, but they're going to have to be way better because there's Z-Dog running across the way, who's 2-0.
This is kind of one of our marquee matches, especially for the evening. If you're looking for some primetime flicks, well, this is exactly it. Flame Dude, one of their matches went completely sideways, and then the next one they were able to just completely take control. So what can they do going into Z-Dog, who they had 0 points at one point whenever they had to come back, and then 52 plus 52. Z-Dog is a monster. I was saying Tux Bear looks like a favorite. Z-Dog even more.
Has Z-Dog actually allowed any points? Point differential 50. Oh, yeah, they let it in 20, I guess, because total points minus a point differential.
It's math.
But, like, holy cow. That's insane. Yeah. Flame Dude's got a long road ahead, but has a win under their pocket. So we'll see if they continue that. Let's go now to the third matchup. We've got a Houston matchup, Hail Monkey Man.
Oh my goodness, it is Stafford High School's Boogie as we get Gabe Zert from Woodlands Christian. So finally, the good old Houston region will be kicking off. They in fact have already done the previous couple of weeks. Both these squads at 1-1. We've got the full stat tape on the side of Gabe Zert as we've got their plus 26. So this could also be one of our marquee matches of the evening. And for all these guys and for all these teams, this is a great pivot point because we talk about week number 3 beginning into that middle portion of the regular season. Can't wait to see what the Houston division is able to bring with this.
Love seeing the programs at Stafford High School and Woodlands Christian Academy as well, getting some love and representation from that Houston region. So let's go ahead and go to the main board now, the main frame, as we have named it here. All 3 matchups on your screen, and we got a couple of, I believe it's actually 2 Baltimore-Detroit games here, so I think the Flame Dude might be up, but we'll check and see the details here as we get things moving. Hail Monkey Man, which one are you feeling first?
Ooh.
I'll leave it up to you this time. Yeah.
Oh, wow. You put me on the spot. Hold on. Show me Houston. Give me the Houston region. Is that actually, wait, who's
that'd be the bottom rights. Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. All right. God, I want to get flavors of this one. We've seen a lot of Green Bay, and you know what? I love them for it. But I want to see some Houston. I want to see what these guys are bringing out. Both these players at that 1-on-1 position. See how they start off this first game, especially because this is a repeat, or not quite a repeat of we had talked about before with the Bills and with Kansas City. So this is still a marquee matchup. I think this is what the AFC Championship should have been.
Yeah, I agree with you. Even though Buffalo is very great too. Look at Pacheco just rolling over, trucking over the defense there of the Ravens. And Pacheco, we got to see a little bit of that cartoon style running once more, and they'll pick up a bunch. It'll be at the 49 here for this 1st and 10.
Pacheco, if they are healthy, are a menace, apparently. They're just so good. They try to be able to chuck it up, and they will be tossed around like a bag of potatoes, and they will be just slunk down, but not before picking up 4. And so they're testing that within that front 4, seeing if the box will be crowded. But look how much of it is open and mid. They're going to try and put so much extra pressure. You will have the character trying to be able to bring this one down, but that forces them to run into the tackle. So they get stuffed down. That's a loss.
Yeah, you have to have your blocks land if you're going to be in shotgun situation. Try to be able to run it off a tackle, and just wasn't there to be. And now you'll have 3rd and 11 in, man, DeAndre Hopkins and Worthy outright, and Rashee Rice on the left. Imagine if this wide receiver crew actually existed for the Chiefs. It will be out to Hopkins there to the right side, and a gain of 10. Just got enough for the first down.
I was thinking that they were trying to go to the sure-handed Kelsey, but they decided to sling it way out wide. So good looks to really spread this field and keep them guessing. So at this point, Trying to just find some footing overall. Right in the middle of the field, an immediate throw. That one maybe a second and a half in the pocket. That is an immediate new set of downs. Bear, this is some quick strike offense.
Yeah, it certainly is. One after another, picking up 10 yards here. Chunk play after chunk play. And here the handoff to Pacheco. There's a lot of open room at first. It closed quickly as the middle linebacker and left linebacker, I believe, respectively, had crashed into the zone. Otherwise, that could have been a big pickup.
Yeah, Boogie has been disguising an open midfield, and then they just kind of slash that one through. And then look how they kind of double stacking that right over the outside tackles. That's a great block. They basically just kind of body him out. There is, in fact, no flag for that because they just kind of zone him away. They became a human fence post, and they couldn't get around him. Huge moment. And we're at around the 6-yard line. Gabesert trying to get on the board first.
Going to Noah Gray on that last one, the new Kelsey perhaps. Oh, Pacheco off the middle does get trucked, absolutely launched backwards. But not before they get down to the 1-yard line. It'll be a 2nd and goal.
I have a lot of time to make this work. They've been showing Pacheco. Maybe they just kind of fully commit to it. Try to see if they can just end this reign of tyranny, but no, they go to Kareem Hunt instead. So switching out the stable, trying to get kind of a shorter, stockier player, but they end up getting caught behind the line.
Yeah, and I'm not sure Hunt's stats are exactly impressive in this game, seeing as he was released by the Browns, I believe it was a little bit earlier, and picked up by KC. And right now, Pacheco on the ground as well. 4th and goal. What a defensive sequence. Got to give the big shout out to Boogie Boy of Stafford High. And that'll force a field goal attempt here instead.
They're going to be able to pick up that 3, and what a way to hold the line. You still allow points to come through, but it's not 7. That's massive. Gabesert tried to stick it to the ground, never once put it in the hands of Mahomes to try and at least kind of sling it out, seeing if he could get through that defensive line, but it was red the entire way. So Gabesert will be first on the board, but Boogie's going to give themselves a chance.
Opportunity here. It's Hardy on the return. Lots of space up to the left. Recognize that. It will be eventually cut down, but not until they get past the 30. So a decent return here, and 3-0 after the first quarter. So the first drive, it looked like it was promising for a touchdown. So to have this 3-0 and not anymore is honestly a win in my book if you're looking for the perspective of Boogie Boy. And a prime opportunity to tie, or if not, to be able to take a lead with a touchdown.
I want to see how they open this up. We saw, I think it was 2 weeks ago, every single matchup had a Ravens team, and they all won. So can the same kind of efficiency work out here? They will work it over to Derrick Henry. They're going to test that front 4. And in fact, they gain more than 4, as it'll be 2nd and 4 here going into this next down. And I feel like both these players are going to play very similarly, but you get this shift as you have trips right and Henry over towards that right. So very overloaded section. This defense is going to be set to respond.
And I feel like you have to get Henry going early. Maybe not in real life, right? But the last time we saw it here in Players League, it didn't quite work out when you try to go to him later on. It was kind of read out, snuffed out. And we're going to fall down the ground, though, well wide, well out of bounds. So a 3rd and 4 now opportunity as they look to try to convert here. Opportunity out left. It's Derrick Henry with those hands we've been talking about of stone, but it won't matter in this game as he's able to pull it in and gain a 1st down.
I mean, he's made of stone, but those hands must be very well moisturized and silky soft. Able to just cradle the ball no matter what he's doing, be it running, be it catching, a Swiss Army knife in the form of a human titan. Oh my goodness, straight up the gut. They have to eventually take on 2 to bring him down. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Would he be a human raven now after the trade?
I mean, but like Ravens don't have much bulk, so like,
yeah, I guess they do. They do hang around and.
Well, I guess he was. I did say Titan, so then.
You see, yeah.
But yeah, I understand now where you were kind of going with that. Into the pocket is where they're going. Can Aguilar be able to bring it in?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Aguilar, their playmaking star. Just kidding, but it's a great conversion here as Jackson goes to the pylon. They just sneak it in for 6. I was telling you about how that big defensive sequence could come in handy if they're able to put a touchdown on the board, and they do get it done as they'll go up to 7-3. Back to the main frame we go. Got a sneak peek of Houston. Let me tell you, Hell Monkey Man is cooking.
Yeah, it really is. And hopefully whenever you go to the draft, Aguilar is not in the crowd at the draft. So I'm just
I have been an Aguilar hater. I mean, he's great for special teams. He's a great util usage. Just not a star. I think he would even tell me that, all right?
He's like, I'm like a dim light, you know, but the light's still on. That's what matters.
And he's still getting paid to do what he does. So, like, joke's on us, right?
Like, he's like, yeah, I'm paid like $1 million. What are you being paid? I'm like, well, I'm being paid to watch you be paid. So, you know, you're doing a good job. Solid job. Well, we are seeing some solid jobs being happened. Oh, my goodness, the stand-up as we get Flame Dude and Z-Dog. I believe Z-Dog is, in fact, on the Ravens. So that quarter comes to an end, and they actually... in the midst of kind of a very defensive battle, and opposite of that, well, I mean, it's still pretty defensive, but only 7 being scored. So across the board right now, generally 2/3, the Ravens are in the lead.
Yeah, lots of defense showing up. We're keeping eyes on the bottom left, or bottom right, rather. But I'd like to kind of peek into that bottom left to take a first exclusive look here at Flame Dude facing off with Z-Dog. Z-Dog an opportunity. We talked about how effective he was, how he puts points on the board in bunches, and does get a first down thanks to Derrick Henry and that body made of stone, like you mentioned, will give him a first down and 10 inside the 15.
If you can get a score forthcoming, I'm going to upgrade him from stone to like tungsten. Actually, I don't think that's the Minecraft special. I need to go back to my books. I think it's stone to, is it iron? Yeah, iron. Yeah, stone. Yeah. Iron Man. Hey, look at that cross brand. They're going to give it over to Henry, and he's going to go straight up the gut, but he ends up with a little cross step backwards, but he'll still gain 4.
Yeah, Derrick Henry has this magical power himself. If you're going to stick around the superhero ability chit chat, where he can just fall down to the ground at the line of scrimmage and gain 4. Somehow that worked out again. He's so big. Opportunity, hole opened up. Just tagged before he could get through that hole. A great defensive play. Otherwise, that was an easy touchdown. And of course, a 3rd and 3 now.
Trying to work his way from iron to obsidian. I've heard that Henry is a Steve main, so we'll get to find out whether or not that's true. They go double tight. Literally everyone on the field here for the Ravens is right there in your screen, so they're going to try and bring this out. But it was all of a ruse. They've got plenty of room for Jackson to run. He's going to send it. Oh, boy. The Flash, rocking and rolling. That'll be the first one on the board.
Oh, yeah. Nicely done. Looked a little bit dangerous, and you might be asking us, hey, is that a double standard? You told him to slide with the quarterbacks when they're about to make contact. Well, here, if you're at the 1, go ahead and punch it in, give it a risk. I honestly did cringe a little bit. I thought maybe that they would take a hit, perhaps surrender a fumble, but not this time around, able to get through with Lamar Jackson, a 7-0 count. Forcing the hands, especially when points come as a luxury. You have to be able to put them on the board. You have to find an answer. And we'll see if an answer is, in fact, due for Flame Dude.
I mean, I don't think there's a double standard there. I mean, you're in the red zone. You're going to go for that score. And Jackson, he is a certified runner. Whereas Penix, I think there's still something to be established there. And it was also in the middle of the field. So
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit there. You know, we got a heavy second right. Gonna see what Goff is gonna establish. Will be the running game. No, my dude is a passer. Oh, Laporta.
Ooh, wow.
What a heck of a move to get just beyond, and that will get them a first down.
Yeah, it looks like the utilization that we're expected from Sam Porta this year, and certainly in game you're able to utilize those skills in order to keep that going, because he was basically right up, no room to breathe, and still found a way to escape for extra yardage. So 1st and 10 here from the 45. Jared Goff in the I formation will drop down, had a blocker just in front, but the pressure will get to him, and Smith with the pick. And we'll take it down. So another big defensive play. How many times have we seen this from Z-Dog? We see it again.
That was also an off-balance throw, as he was sandwiched, but right next to his I think his running back blocker, and then a man that was diving up the middle. So as he was fading left, he crossed it just over top. Did not gain really any distance to the guy that he ultimately wanted to give it to. So that's tough. So that'll be a turnover off of that one. And again, it's gonna be Z-Dog going right back to work. We know that they love to work both sides of the ball, and it feels like Flame Dude's gonna have his hands full.
Z-Dog looking to put up more damage, and right now they're lined up as they do. Give it to Henry yet again on the counter play. It will get a couple. So this time he fell at the line of scrimmage and only gained 2. So like, shame on him, I guess. But either way, second hit.
Can't believe it. I love the stadium, by the way. I've actually been here. That upper deck, you would think it's like super scary, and it is. But you can actually see the entire field like very, very well. It's almost like I was just in my living room, but it was ice cold.
Nice. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
You love the elements. You know, it brings a whole different factor into
Oh!
it. Look at that. It's juke from an unknown individual named Kohler. I literally don't know, but that's cool. Hey, good for him.
He's the Kohler side of the pillow.
Oh, you did it.
Yeah, I did.
It was cold when you were there.
I hope he's at the draft. I'll say it again.
Charlie Kohler. I am doing research. Quick research again.
Oh, while you do that, Henry will make the same move, as these big men have very spry feet. I'm pretty sure they've all gone to their dancing classes. So this will be a huge gain of 6. They run about 30 yards to go about 6 forward. Still, though, this is chewing up first half clock. And Z-Dog's got a campaign that's really starting to find some good distance against Flame Dude.
Back up the middle with Henry, and that one's going to be snuffed out in a hurry. Defense standing strong at 3rd and 4 instead, so you want your defense to be performing just like you've seen it right now in order to hold them off here and give yourself an opportunity to keep it close before the half. But going to go down, it's Mark Andrews, and he will make the catch down on the sideline and get all the way down to the 3.
The fact that Jackson can just run at full speed and still chuck it on a line, like right there, he's in a flying stance. There, he does not have set feet, and still send it like 20 yards is absolutely absurd.
Henry up the middle as well, and just going to stop a little bit shy of the 1-yard line. And a 2-minute warning here for the first half, and a chance to put up even more points, which allows me to talk about Charlie Kohler, the 3rd tight end behind Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews. No wonder we have not heard a word from Kohler.
Wow. How did he even get in the rotation for that play? That's wild. Okay. Okay, getting swallowed up a second time. We have seen at least 2 goal line stances that have worked out. One that's already happened today with a field goal that was necessary, and one that happened, I think, last week that completely shut down a would-be, score. So it's not outside the realm of possibility, even with as good as this is. But again, as they've shown this play, will they commit to the bit of it being a pass, or will they turn it into yet another run out of Jackson?
If it's open, they're going to go for it. And no, they're going to throw it over to Andrews. Shut down. 4th and goal, decision time now from the 3, and it's looking like he's going to go for it.
You know what? You're already up 7. The worst that could happen is that it turns over right here, and then you basically have him pinned very far back, so it's not a terrible idea, I would say. So got Henry, he would be able to move out to the flats. You have everyone that wants to be able to drag. They may, in fact, enable that. You have 3 separate audibles that get called at the same time. They're going to try and use Jackson's feet as they have that cornerback. But no, it's a throwback, and it's going to be picked off. He will go down to the end zone. So that actually is even a worser situation because they'll come out to the 20. That was a huge way to have a good defensive series.
Yeah, 100%. You know, you're tied on 4th down. Most of the time, it's best to knock it to the ground. In that situation, it's rare. But whenever it's inside the 20, inside the red zone, you want to do it. That way you pull it out to the 20. It's a solid point. And now a chance to go and even things out. So a big defensive stance like we were talking about earlier. You don't want to give it away with a risky play out to the flats. Luckily, Sam Porter was able to pull that one in and gain 4.
Z-Dog reads opponents like they are pamphlets at a doctor's office. There's plenty of time to do so, and they just continue to make it so tough to do anything. If everyone pretty much manned up, ready to be able to find them, and they had Simpson the entire time, you get clotheslined at the point of attack. There was never a chance for Flame Dude to get past Z-Dog there.
Nope, no opportunity. 3rd and 5 now from their own 25. So if you don't pick up this first down, that is a tough, I want to say tough decision, but you'd have to punt it away. So you want to be able to convert this. Unless it's like 4th and inches, how risky do you feel? But yeah, it's feeling more and more like they're going to have to convert here at the very least. Back to the main frame we go. A 7-7 matchup up top. So before we do commit there, I kind of want to see that 3rd down, see how it develops the bottom left. We'll see, and they do pick it up there. So they'll be able to extend that drive, which is nice. Interception on the top side, though. As now it'll be Light B. Oh, so yeah, that's Light B. Nope, Munch Lax fan. I forgot Light B made the transition from Baltimore to Detroit tonight. And so Munch Lax fan able to get that interception. And man, that was a big defensive play.
We're seeing 3 really solid games happening right now. 14-17, and opposite of that here over in the Houston region, they started lighting up the scoreboard, and really we have some basically marquee matches happening, especially with Houston really trying to see who's going to be in the top of the pecking order, maybe able to go in 2-1, top of the box at 7 apiece, and they got about a minute 16, and that's still left in the first quarter. So that feels like it's going to be a long haul to really establish who's going to be taking out that game.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, when it's been that kind of struggle, you feel it. They wanted to play a full simulated game, it feels like. So, listen, I'm here for it. And you see up top, there's Henry with a little bit of room, but that's going to be shut down. A good passing play there as well. So you see Flame Dude getting in on some action and really challenging Z-Dog like we see for the first time this basically this entire season.
Yeah, Z-Dog would love to stay undefeated. I mean, that obviously I think anyone would, but now as we finally get Flame Dude looking for answers, he's only being left with more questions, especially into that triple coverage. So in our bottom right, Kansas City, which Gabe Zert has been at the helm thereof, emptying their backfield, going for passing weapons. They come up with a first down. Just so much action just in general. And they're already in the third quarter. They're nearly into the fourth in that Houston region matchup.
Yeah, I got a couple. You got one in the third. You got one about to be in the fourth just now. And then this one up top still in the first. So we'll see plenty of time and action there. There's a touchdown up top. So there you have it. Munch Lax fan jumping out to a lead, 14-7, and Lightby is going to have to play from behind yet again, like we saw in the first portion of the doubleheader. We'll see if they can get it done and get the turnaround going, as this one's a lot closer than we saw previously.
Yeah, it'd be a tough, kind of a brutal situation. You're playing to get at least all your matches that you needed from your schedule, and then you do so back to back, and you're just getting pretty much kind of manhandled across one, and then this next one it's not out of reach. It's not like it's currently a runaway train, but it's definitely looking a little bit more difficult as Munchlax fan is starting to catch some wind and catch some fire. Looks like Z-Dog is back in control as Flame Dude had to kind of secede at least a little bit of that. We'll be going to the fourth quarter as well in our Houston division. Which one do you want to drop into, Bear?
I think we'll go Houston region here and maybe play it out. That one's been going really quick. Not to mention it's pivotal. They could go up by 2 possessions if they're able to close out this drive. So we head in now for the perspective of Gabe Zert, who will be able to gain a little bit on that right side. So just a little bit of space is all you need from, my goodness, Samaje Pirine, I believe it was. Yeah, I was searching for answers, but they only get a few there. So back in the backfield will be Pacheco for this next 2nd and 6.
You know, Pirine went to OU. Oh my goodness, and they went to the ground. That was a smack. Is that Sweat? No, that's not Sweat. They're on the Eagles. Oh, that was violent. Love seeing all that. Pirine and I forgot who was their other Wombo combo. Heck of a runner. Love what we got out of them.
Heck yeah. OU, you mean PU this year? Huh?
Wow, yeah, they suck. Okay, shout out. Look, we went to SEC and we had no game plan, and really our coaches are just
thought you were gonna get away with Big 12 play there with no defense. Doesn't work out there. Huh?
Well, no, the problem is when they had all defense, they had no offense. They usually win when they're Big 12. But okay, that's an entire separate podcast. No. Not doing that right now.
I try to bait you into it. If I'm going to lose to the director of ed tonight, you get to lose a conversation. Right? Leave it at that.
I hope Blasky's able to get a picture of that. Oh.
1st and 10. This drive is still just taking this clock down. This is exactly what Gabe Zert's going for. And Boogie Boy's in trouble if they can't get a big turnover or something to change this momentum, man.
Yeah, Gabe Zert's really just been whittling this away, and if you're Boogie, it's not too bad, but then you see him purposely just getting down to this play clock as much as you can, and that's why he's so feisty off the front line, just trying to get that one as a fast smash and gas, seeing what they can do. So Gabe Zert, even when they take that loss, they're bleeding like 30 seconds in chunks, and the only thing that's really helping out Boogie is that eventually the 2-minute warning is coming about, but he actually will purposely take a timeout.
Timeout taken here. 24-yard line, so still within striking distance, especially when you have Patrick Mahomes in this game. Not to sound too much like Chris Collinsworth here, Patrick Mahomes, my goodness. But, like, seriously, in this game, he has X factor, too, which means that you have some serious distance in your passes as well, but you don't really need one when you're dumping it off to Pacheco. Get those cartoon legs running and a first down.
Brett Favre, what a guy. You know what? Mahomes. Everyone.
That's what we love about Mahomes.
Yeah, he's like Brett Favre, but he's like Tom Brady, but he's not. Pacheco out in space, big pickup. He continues to be just thrown around. The 2-minute warning comes up. And Bear, this is absolute crunch time if you're Boogie. He already used a timeout, hoping he could get a defensive set to be able to shut this one down. But so far, it's been anything but, and it feels almost inevitable the score's coming in.
Can the Boogie Boy upgrade to Boogie Man and spook the defense?
Oh!
I thought ball was out for a second. It looked like the animation, but Pacheco did hold on to it. Did that fool just me? Because it looked like it might have been.
No,
a
it
fumble.
did. Everyone looked like they were splashing, like they were, that SeaWorld, and all the dolphins just came out. It was just...
Telltale sign. Oh, wide open! Wow, Xavier Worthy, the rookie, says we're not worthy. Gabe's hurt. Up big now.
I don't know if this was the exact coverage and reason why it was blown. Yes, okay. So they sold out on the run. They had the middle linebacker come up into the A gap, went right into him, and I thought they were going to be able to get hands onto at least Mahomes or anyone before it happened. But you had that. I think it was the strong safety who was up, and he ended up looking down. I don't know if that was a player pull or otherwise, but gave up their position. So now you're in a tough spot. They're going to let this one go and be a touchback. So it is absolutely necessary to get a score very, very quickly, but that's a lot of work to do. You got to do it twice.
Yeah, exactly. Against KC defense, that will be difficult. Also, Xavier Worthy, you know where he went?
Huh.
Texas Longhorn.
Of course he did.
Oh, that one dangerous. Somehow comes down with it. As their superstar strikes again over the middle. Aguilar pours that one in. Came out of virtually nowhere. That's why he's on special teams. Like, his speed is actually pretty dirty. And that's another great play by him. As now they have this opportunity and cooking and at least getting down the field in a hurry here in 1st and 10.
Can't burn all this extra neutral time, though. We're seeing so much go off the clock. If you have an idea, you've got to run with it. This is when you have to use that 2-minute style. But if you're not ready, McDuffie's going to pick you off. Can he get past the big man? He will at least get beyond 70, but not Jackson. But I think, Bear, that one might seal it up. 30 seconds to go. As long as no mistakes are made, this should be just a finalization by Gabeser to get to 2-1.
Yeah, the other matches we have are, I think one's just getting to the 4th quarter now, so we'll park it here for a miracle perhaps. But all signs will point to Gabe Zert with an incredible performance and limiting the boogeyman to Boogie Boy for at least one more week. As Gabe Zert did a great job representing Woodlands Christian Academy in that Houston region. And there it is, officially set in stone. Gabe Zert with the victory.
The way he laid him down, he became a boogie board, and he walked on top of him and sent him into the waves. Gabeser, congratulations. He'll go to 2-1, and we'll go to our 2 remaining matches. One deep in the 3rd quarter, as we still have only one score between Z-Dog and Flame Dude, but as soon as we come back to him, we see a huge chunk of yardage. How about we go to that version of our both the Detroit and Baltimore matches?
All right, let's head to it, because that's a good question, or that's a good point, because right now the other one is just extended to 20-7. So we'll go to the 0-7-1 right now, as maybe you need a boogie board, at least the water off of the boogie board, in order to try to keep the Flame Dude down, because right now he's burning, pretty passionate, but that's the way you limit it as well. At Z-Dog up the middle with Derrick Henry.
I want to see this replay again, because they definitely brought over the mid linebacker, and it looks like he was trying to just stop him behind the line of scrimmage, but all momentum for Henry. If you don't get him on the point attack, I'm sad that we didn't get to see it, but it felt like he just went a gap too far to the right. So you let him loose, and the horse can run. Z-Dog will extend their lead, and Flame Dude now is down by a couple.
And Z-Dog also understands the concept of kicking in this game, where you don't want to go all the way up. Otherwise, it makes it very tough to have a very straight kick, which is why we've seen a few mistakes. It's something that was incorporated in the last couple of Maddens, if I'm not mistaken, starting in 24. If I could be wrong, but it is one of those 2 years. But that's just like knowing, understanding the game, doing the research, and that's why we have individuals in chat as well with their notepads out. And we appreciate you coming through and hanging out with us, by the way. So if you're here to support one of your schools, or if you're here just to watch your games as well, develop some of your teammates and things like that, we appreciate you being in chat as well and hanging out with us.
Well, we got Flame Dude who has to set themselves up for success, and they do so right over to right. That was the right thing to do, as they're already beyond the 50-yard line. Wow, what a gasher.
Yeah, it's quick conversion and efficiency here. As they'll celebrate here and take more time off the clock, though, while they're doing it. And you're like, yo, it's a minute left in the third. Doesn't really matter that much. In Madden, especially when it takes off like this, it's a good time to kind of rush. And they do find Jamison Williams, though, for the first down.
Trying to get some very just huge truck stick style hits. See if they can pop that ball loose. It's just not going to happen. The sure hands really coming in. Already beyond and inside the 30, so they're just getting chunk yards at 20 and 25 yards at a time. Goff forces them all in. That is going to end up being an interception. Stevens is pushed out, but that is, I mean, you throw 20 at a time. This one bit too far as it ends up back in Z-Dog's hands.
Z-Dog has just been masterclass over the first 3 weeks once more. You try to force that one all the way down. You try to go to Jamison Williams, who's clearly becoming the favorite target, and it was read all the way. You mentioned he was reading the play extremely well, and that includes defensively also. So let's go back out to the main frame and check on the other matchup that we have. It'll be the Light B and Munchlax, man. Getting a little bit closer here, 21-14. A ball on the ground, though, and that one will be, well, it could be an equalizer after an extra point. They could even take the lead with 2. What a big turn of momentum. Let's go to that game.
I have not seen a fumble turned into a touchdown off a sack. Oh my gosh, they chucked them to the floor. Strip sack style. Wow. All right. You know, this is the kind of team that people were looking for, especially going to the playoffs, and it felt like they just had too many injuries to have to deal with. That is insane. Also, I need to know your opinion. How do you feel about the new kickoff style that they have for this? You know, having to drop it into like a back, like 20-yard kind of zone in front of the end zone.
I was going to make the Mitch Hedberg joke and say I'm for him. I don't know if anybody's watched it. Maybe I'm aging myself right now. But
No, Mitch Hedberg, my guy.
No, actually, I'm not for it. I don't know, man. I like what they're trying to do with making less injuries, but also having an action play. But like the rules and stipulations of, it has to land here. If it goes out of bounds, it goes back to the 25, or is it the 35 now? I forget. Like if it goes out of bounds, it's one way. If it goes out of bounds, it's like a certain, but then if it goes out the back of the end zone, man, I just, dynamic kickoff, they were thinking the right direction, I guess, but I can't get behind it right now. Not personally.
Yeah. I feel like that it's so difficult, especially with all the, like, you get equipment evolutions to try and be able to protect everyone from CTEs and everything. It's definitely tough. And you know what? It's a neat idea, but I'm also a fan of the wedge because I was part of those kids that, you know, was taught that, and then they're now being taught to tackle different ways. So I just love good violent football, but also these are guys with careers. I don't know. It's one of those things where I want to see big plays, but here we are.
Just line them up at the 20 and just let the next team take over. Like, what are we doing?
Didn't they do that in that new league that they have? It was like American whichever league or something that they just immediately put them at the 20-yard line.
It was it wasn't was it the XFL? It might be the XFL, right?
No, it started. It was the one before the XFL, whichever one that was. Is it American football?
USFL.
USFL. Yeah. So they started doing that, and I think they also had like a running clock or something. They had a few rules that were really cool in that one.
Yeah, I agree. And listen, if you got other leagues that are doing it right, it feels right, then just do it. But here's another dynamic kickoff. That even a 21-21, so they weren't able to cash in at the half. And possession in the second half makes that kind of change off very important. Light B will be the first one on. And a bit of a juke move going backwards, although it will kill the momentum. It was still a fancy little move.
So, all right. Basically, it's nothing. Everything that you did before, it was catch-up time. Fantastic looks. Light B given another chance, especially off of what was a fumble turned 6. So now, after taking a loss earlier today, oh my goodness, barely getting this one out. Oh, wow. Okay. So, Light B's going to take that one and just wipe his brow.
Yeah, because those Andrews could have been the other way this time around. So, you never want to see that. If you're in the perspective of Light B, but Munchlax fan, take nothing away from the defense that's been stellar. Another tackle for loss, make it a 3rd and long situation from their own 23, causing Light B to make a tough move. That really limits the playbook. You got to go for a first down conversion here, which means a long pass play inbound.
I'm looking at Brown right now, see if Laporta can do it much of anything. He's going to be very short of the line, so he's going to go way outside. It's a drop into the zone. It ends up being a punt as they get the interception. That one will be all the way down to around the 37-yard line. Ugh. Well, you know what? If you're going to end up throwing it that far off of that down, might as well, make sure it's at least just going to be your opponent buried deep.
And I want to say, that's fine because of how your defense has been playing. It's 21-21, though. They made big plays, so you're hoping for another big play here is essentially what you're looking to do here. What are the X factors, too? You see Derrick Henry with it, so that's like the train X factor. Plus, you got Lamar Jackson. His legs start to work up, so that in-game feature is going to feature a deadly offensive sequence for those two men.
This is such a tough box. You have like 8 to 9 dudes up in this box. Oh my goodness, Barnes with a disruption. Yeah, the way that Detroit lines up their defense, this is the most overloaded box that you could possibly get, and it is something that you just really can't challenge with Derrick Henry because he's just too many bodies and too much traffic. Now, they may actually bring this to the line and be doing a run fake to try and, yep, exactly what it is. You'll have a man out to the flats. He's an open target. Jackson's going to try and use his feet. He actually uses it to great profit. It's 4th and 2, and it's pretty manageable if they actually want to risk this here.
Yeah, and at the 45, so this is typically a place where, let me be a real-life commentator, where the analytics would show it's right to go for it. So, I know, right? Hey, by the way, that's STEM-related, so write that down if you're in chat still and hanging out with us. They do that now with the NFL. There are jobs out there in the NFL where it's literally like, let's crunch the numbers and see, based on analytics, should we go for it? And they do get it. Analytics strike again. Almost got through that last tackler as well. And if Derrick Henry gets going, it's hard to stop. It will be a 1st down and 10 from the 41.
Wild stuff. There's also people that go around and they make everyone's scores for games like this on those same analytics. You'll see them off to the side. They'll look at boot camps. They'll see all the combine days, and they'll figure it out. So as we go between these two, it is currently 0-28. This is Z-Dog bringing the pain as we're in that 4th quarter.
Yeah, just about to wrap that one up, it seems like. So one-sided affair, it would seem. Z-Dog tends to do that. And we said it's going to be a pivotal moment for Flame Dude. It's going to be a difficult haul for sure. And unfortunately, it's looking like it's way too hot to handle as Derrick Henry up the middle. And will tuck that one in as well, 34-0. And I believe that'll hit the mercy roll. It will indeed. So now it'll be a Z-Dog win yet again. So congratulations to Z-Dog for your victory over Flame Dude this time as well. Green Bay Southwest High School finally getting some love here. They've been great in the first couple of weeks, but this is the first time we've seen them win tonight, I believe.
Yeah, but it's not the first time winning for Z-Dog. They are 3-0.
Yeah.
So I think they're one of, if not our only undefeated player right now through the first 3 weeks. So love to see Z-Dog continue that reign of supremacy. They get challenged here and there, but then ultimately they turn it on. What a catch by Isaiah Likely. And it's all the way down to a 1st and goal, trying to get this lead back as Munchlax fan. They're going to give it to, the main hitman himself, but it's not automatic.
No, not quite. Not able to get there, so we'll go back to it. 2nd and goal. That's all right. You're at the 1. You have 4 chances to tuck it in here. And Henry's going to try again up the middle. Still stopped as well. I think they might have dropped back all the way to the 2. Still going to register at the 1, but they've gone basically nowhere and only 2 chances left.
All 4 of the down linemen inside from the guard to the tackle, look how close they are. Look how immediate. They are all the way down on 2 hands. That means they're getting as much push and crank as they can. And they're going to be going straight up into it. Oh, did they get it from Flowers? No! Flowers with an outstretched arm is able to cradle that baby egg. And that's going to be 6 on, barring the next extra point.
Man, oh man. Yeah, that's what you got to do. You called out the down lineman trying to get that push in. What you have is linebackers lined up that way as well. And so you take them out of the equation. Everybody's pushing forward, which opens up space just behind. And a lot of times you'll see like a jump pass to a big man, right, in that kind of situation. And that time around is like the equivalent of the Madden play in that instance where it's a one-on-one situation. And if you have a Zay Flowers who has that type of speed, wide open space, touchdown, and you'll take the lead here 28-21.
Well, we've got 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter, so I don't think that we are anywhere near done, Bear, considering that this was actually a comeback effort by Lightbeat to even get into the grill of Munchlax fan. They're going to bring this one out near around that 25-yard line, so this is where we will set things up for Lightbeat to try and counter-strike forward. So, love that they've really kind of showcased the depth of how they're going to play. That first loss on the day completely erased as they've been taking this one to Munchlax.
Yeah, 100%. But it is possible that, Munchlax could run away. What? Here's Jamison Williams. Oh, what a good cut there inside, too. And Smith trying to get to them. They cannot do it. Jamison Williams is too fast. And a long touchdown with a potential tie at hand and awaits.
You know who's running away? Ain't Munchlax. It's Williams, my dude, all the way outside. One solid step, and no one was able to get him down. Wow. Okay, so what was a long fight in the trenches from Munchlax, Lightbeat turns into cruise control in the expressway. Should be able to get this extra point. It will make its way through the big bars, and we're still all knotted up. This may come down to last score.
It honestly might. And yeah, you're right. I thought it might be an equation where there's a possibility that Munchlax could run away with it, but instead, you're talking about how they needed a counter strike on the other side, and Jamison Williams left him in the D dust.
The D dust.
Counter strike.
I got you. All right, we go back to Munchlax fan. They will see us go straight up the middle. They try to be able to get a quick spin move, but I mean, when you're leaning on your back onto a defender, not really going to get that much pivot if you can. So again, they are just loading this box. It is almost impossible for him to get much space. You have to get some good blocking, and even when they shed one, you're gaining all of another yard, and quickly 2 downs are through them. They only have 2 yards.
Yeah, not much gained. 3rd and 8. You hear the bells, the chimes for the defense. Yeah, that one. That's the one I was talking about, yeah. It'll be. Now looking to hold off. Munch gets it across. How? Did you fit it in? No, he did not. He dropped it. I was about to say, holy cow. Squeezed that one into the hole. And he did, honestly, but leave it to Mark Andrews to drop it.
Yeah, but that was also because he had to deal with double coverage at the very last second. Before, instead of having that box just go and sell out against that run, they dropped back. They knew that they could do that because they had that deep third down, and so they had that middle linebacker go into the same left hash where that ended up being. So they're taking a risk here. A Munchlax fan going for it, but it's going to be Joseph that picks it up. It depends on how far this return can go. Ultimately, he has to make it through so much traffic. He might be able to do it to the house, to the corner, to the big blue. That's Lightbeat that has finally got a lead change, trying to get even more than 6.
Well, float it like a butterfly and leave it to Lightbeat to pick it off and run it all the way back. Lightbeat with an incredible defensive sequence once again, not only forcing the 4th down, but then picking it off, which is not always the right response on a 4th down, but you saw plenty of green, and then you're able to cut it once, not once, just twice, and able to get the pick 6, and the extra point will be well wide, but you got the lead here, 34-28, so, well, at least you're doing steps in the right direction. Your defense steps up big, so big plays ahead.
That extra point missed might be insanely important here down the other side of this game, Bear. Because I don't know. With the way both these guys have been going back and forth, we might see Munchlax fan be able to get something back. So we'll see how important that really does come to be. So they will keep them, I think, about short from that 20. Begins anew. Munchlax fan would love to find something back, but here we go again.
1st and 10 for their own 22. Jackson to Henry, right up the middle. Plenty of space to work with. The first one misses, too, when the first man misses. Oh, that's a dangerous look, but luckily the safety able to get Henry down before any more damage was done.
You see the safety still on the ground there. He's like, man, that dude is big. Having to just gash him from that quick standard. Oh, he sheds the first, but not enough speed to be able to get past that mid linebacker. He's a bit stronger, a bit taller, a bit bigger.
Yeah, especially during the cold time when you try to challenge Derrick Henry. That's when they really feel like the big boys, when they feel like it's really a pain to try to get down. It's going to be difficult to get him down here in this play, too. Lots of momentum out and does tuck out of bounds before even taking a hit. It'll be a first down and 10 at the 46.
There was one time in a Texas fall, whenever I was still playing football, it got down to 35 degrees, and I got absolutely clobbered by one of our big guys and took the wind out of me. It's like I literally just ran into a mausoleum and said move, and it didn't work. Trying to be able to get this from the outside. They get the line to gain, but they run into a stone wall just thereafter. We're getting physical through the first 3. Does that power continue into the 4th?
It's been heated. There's no doubt about it. I did like that decision on the end around. You haven't seen a whole lot of pressure or, blitz attempts, and then when you find that right time to really strike, you get open space. So not only did they pick the first down, but they ride that momentum into the next play. A 2nd and 7 now will develop here at the 31 with Derrick Henry in the backfield. We'll get the call up the middle, but going to be stuffed again. So great defense shines through again from Light B, who's been really making some big play.
I'm hoping they do the same play call that they had for the 3rd and 8, because you need to still have about a front 4 or 5 to deal with the possibility of this run, because it has been shown that they go for a strike from out of this, but they will actually just give it to the regular feature, and that is Henry. Now, what do? It's 4th and 6. You're well within field goal range. Gotta feel like if you're a Munchlax fan, you don't want this to get worse.
No, you want to kind of stem the bleeding or stop it where it stands in its tracks. And what do you draw up here in this situation? I'll go with two running back situation, a whole field. Look at them all the way across in the multi-down linemen's 4th and 6. Where is the passing going to come from? Look at all the down linemen. Gets Hewitt, and it was to Mark Andrews, the intended target, but it falls short. That'll get ball directly back to Lightby, who comes up big again on the defensive side.
And you've got options on the Lions side here for Lightby to really kind of grind some of this clock. You got all of a minute from that first push from at least the last 30 or 40 yards or so from out of Munchlax, but now you can start really chewing into this overall clock. So we'll go to a 2nd and 8 after on the ground didn't really work. They're heavy loaded to the right. Feels like they're just gonna play this one conservative. I think that's the right call for the most part. Depends on whether they ultimately want to sit.
Decision needs to be on point. 2nd and 8. Gibbs in the backfield. Shotgun call. Taking it all the way down. Want last possession. And they might be on their way of doing that. Going to change up the play call. At least fake that as Gibbs will go up the middle. Not a whole lot of yardage there. So time off the clock, but you have to convert a first down if you want to make it effective.
Gonna be chilling here for about 30 seconds or so if they're gonna really try to limit. No, they decided to go straight off the rip, not letting them have a chance. Laporta, that'll be a first down. Good news for Munchlax. 2-minute warning is around the corner. Unfortunate for them. They may see the entirety of that minute actually ticked off the clock. We'll see at least another chunk of 15 to 20 seconds at a time. But no, they're just going to continue to kind of subvert those expectations. Laporta again, he's become such a clutch target.
Has been the equivalent of like a hurry up offense, except you get to choose your play and not have to audible to like pre-design things. Yep. It seems like, because when they've been snapping it quickly, that's how they've found some success. When they were running some time off the clock, it allowed the defense to adjust to whatever look it is. And I feel like they've had more success just running plays back to back. So we'll see if that same trend continues, and maybe a big reason why they haven't ticked down this clock. But at the same time, it's mission accomplished as they're down to 212. But a big interception here from Munchlax fan, who will get possession back with 2:09 left.
And he basically has 4 timeouts. You can run one, you can end up with that 2-minute warning, and you've got plenty of time management to be able to get down this field. That's exactly why I was so afraid of seeing this go through the air. It's just not a safe spot, especially when you're in a great position like Light B is. Gibbs that was flaring out right, maybe give it over to your running back. No one was near them, but they're trying to kind of force it up and into mid. So, oh boy, all right. So taking kind of a moment of pause for all this happening at this point here, Bear. Wonder where this ends up going.
Yeah, we'll see if the connection continues here. So we'll go back to the booth here as they look to figure this out. It wouldn't be esports without a little bit of tech pauses here. So in the meantime, it does give us time to breathe. big plays that we called out defensively from Lightby. But then Munch, right when they needed one, Munchlax was able to come up with big. And now their opportunity to strike. You're right. They've got basically 4 times they can stop this clock. We'll see how they can maneuver forward as they need 6.
If I'm seeing this right now, I mean, two big plays. I mean, they'll try to be able to get one right across, and that's a nice 5-yard gain, and you're getting your timeout. So no issues, no worries as you go across middle. So now 2 minutes, and if I'm Lightby, you got to keep your cool. There's a little bit of worry there because you did get it over, and you did not get that extra point earlier. You must stop a touchdown if you really want to control your own fate.
Yeah, and if they start moving this ball all the way to your ends, it's almost a situation where you wanted to let a touchdown in so you have more time to kind of roll back and have that final possession. But at this point in time, because you missed the extra point, you don't feel as confident. And with the minute 50 left, now the clock's going to tick. A 3rd down, a big one here. With a minute 46 left, here's Jackson back. We'll top it up for Henry. Just cuts inside. Will pick up the 1st down. A big one to continue this drive forward.
But he's not stopping the clock. He's got to have some time left. Got to keep cruising. You've seen the player control off of Campbell. They love using that mid linebacker, and so they bring that out into open space. That's where Jackson got tracked down, and then into that previous play, they actually whiffed. They're going to go over to Rodriguez from some corner pressure, and they may actually keep them kind of into that mid zone, seeing if they go and cut across. They actually are feeding it, and now they are reading it as they have to go towards Jackson. He will go out of bounds. We're at the 47-yard line, a minute 16.
Still got all 3 timeouts in hand, walking the tightrope to get that 1st down. At the 47, you've ticked down plenty of the clock. Now you have to score. Yep. And still on your side of the field as well. Jackson back now, and with time was running out to get rid of that ball, was able to get it over to Andrews, who does end up with the ball. A 2nd and 7 now as they only pick up 3, but didn't take off much clock either.
Playing a very chess-like game. 3 and 4 seconds at a time. They have a lot of time to read whatever they gotta, and everyone's getting lit up. You see the stamina of right now here for Lightby. They're gonna go across their body. That was a tough one to haul in. They do though, and that'll be another line gained.
Who else but the stud of Nelson Aguilar? I feel like it's because he doesn't get as much attention from the defense, and if you ignore any kind of piece from this offense, it is a mistake. 1st and 10, 42, running out of space. A big sack now from Lightby. And with 52 seconds left, they're just holding on. And Jackson, we'll see if he comes up injured here.
No way. They're taking a timeout, right? Okay. Yeah, so Jackson's fine, luckily. But they continue to let this clock go. They actually did not decide to stop it here.
Interesting move. They had it open, but it's going to be closed out by the user error. But it's Mark Andrews stumbling over one. The dive will somehow send Andrews backwards. I'm not sure how that physics works, but it'll be 34 seconds left in the 1st and goal.
He ran into a leaping lion and decided, oh my goodness, that is frightening. Oh, trying to stop him off of that leap. He ends up kind of just slowly tripping on him. And now you have another pause, a chill moment. 2 pauses. And this is a player pause, actually, that's being used. 30 seconds instead of a timeout. This is what you get to see in kind of that real game. So a moment to kind of get your breath and think, Bear, because if they cannot get this goal line stand, we may very well see this go for Munchlax.
We certainly might. And the last one was a pause to adjust potentially packages, potentially players. So now we see a similar pause. Opportunity to punch it in here with 27 seconds left.
Oh, boy.
Can they get the equalizer? It's a handoff to Derrick Henry. And not quite yet. 2nd and goal. It's down to 20 seconds left. They need to call a timeout here.
I think they're going to try and run one. Ultimately, they're just looking through their playbook. Oh, they're going straight to the line. It is all in. Can they sneak it in? It's got to be a sneak if they go for it. Otherwise, it's too deep in the backfield. But he'll make it over. Oh, my goodness. With 5 seconds to go, Munchlax fan has tied this game up with an extra point on the way.
Oh, goodness. I was freaking out. You have to use a timeout there. If he doesn't get in, sure, you can call a timeout, but then you're left with just 1 play instead of 2. But he gets the job done, and that's what's important. Huge moment coming here. An extra point seems pretty easy till you realize it has not been automatic all night long. But again, just pressure on to be able to nail what you do on a regular basis whenever you score. Is just hit this extra point. That's all you need to do. Here it comes, an opportunity. And you still have 5 seconds left on the clock, so you're thinking about that the other way, but the kick is no good! He misses it wide right! Oh my goodness! Tie ball game as the missed extra point may send us to overtime.
I was saying earlier, Bear, that one PT or extra point, it was looking just so detrimental for Light B. A couple of possessions later, and things go absolutely sideways. Munchlax with a chance to at least get themselves in the lead for the win. And now with 5 seconds, they're going to try and drop this straight into the back zone. Have your sure hand. Oh, my goodness.
Uh-oh. That's
So
not good.
No, we're going to be at the 40. Oh, my gosh.
That is a huge mistake as well. In addition to it, they just keep piling up. Unfortunately for Munch, you got the tiebreaker. You're able to force overtime, but only because you missed the extra point. And now the kickoff will give right possession and an opportunity to score a touchdown from Light B would be the way to end it here in this overtime. If you get a field goal, you give them an opportunity, or if you don't score any kind of points for Munchlax fan at that point in time, but we'll win it for them. But will they even get to the mark? Light B has a unique opportunity to try to end this game. It's got a man deep, going to try to shoot for it first. Intercepted! Now it's the first score wins as a big defensive play to finally gain some of that momentum back from Munch.
Oh, my Lord. We're going overtime. All right. Showing that the PAT is definitely exactly practiced how it's preached. You need to get those PATs down. So we're going extra time. All right. So we're not in full. Look, so, okay.
It is full.
So it is sudden death. This isn't like regular NFL.
Oh, update. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Okay. So Ravens will receive. That means that they have to, if they can score a touchdown first, they win. If they get a field goal, then it will be Light B with the Lions that will get a chance to go the other way. And if they can get a field goal, then we continue on as thus. But if they get a touchdown, it's Jover.
Big pressure. But listen, you may have missed that extra point, but if you get that touchdown, it don't matter. It don't matter. You don't need that extra point. Will they be able to drive it down the field like they did last time? And you got to feel some pressure if you're Light B, but that's a great first defensive stand as they'll lose one in the process.
Light B loves Campbell. Absolutely adores that linebacker, and I can see why. The dude fills gaps so well, and I understand completely why they want to be able to control that line, that area just behind the line, because if you can be able to fill that gap, you force the hand of Derrick Henry. He'll gain a couple, but it's only from tripping through that defensive line.
So intimidating, too, with that eye paint. I don't know if you check that out, but holy cow. All right, third down and 8. 100% has to be. Derrick Henry not able to get to the line. 4th and 1 now, a huge stop. Now what do?
You have to trust your gut, right? Like, I mean, you would go on the ground. You've got Jackson, who maybe hasn't been underutilized as a runner. You got Henry, who obviously has power, but if you're going to line him up, then you're going to basically see everyone squeeze exactly as they are. It's going to take forever for this to be able to kind of develop. They actually bring Campbell up to the line. He will not be encroaching. And do they get it? No! Did they get it?
No. It's a turnover. It's a turnover on downs. First
boy.
down, 39-yard line, and all they need is a field goal at the very minimum. So a huge stop yet again from Light B. A very prime opportunity to try to close this out. But you got to be responsible with the ball because defense has been cooking both ways. I know it's a 34-34 game, but a lot of turnovers have created points and put them in prime position from a field perspective where you want to take care of the ball. That's a good way to do it. Drop off to Jahmyr Gibbs. Lots of space to work with, taken down as well, but after a gain of 7.
I would never throw this ball again. I mean, I know that they definitely have that lined up right now. You will have Patrick that's going to be going to double coverage out into that right side flat. They have a chance. They're going to give it over to the Gibbs. Well, Gibbs, oh, great step. He'll gain another line as they continue to grind this down. He'll be short of the 25. And Bear, this is where you start thinking, how conservative do you want to play? You have a field goal as a very proper option, but you missed your PAT earlier, so kicks are not a sure thing. Looks like they're just going to keep going to the sky. Why not? Goff is kind of a saint.
Yeah, he can be. especially when playing at home. Not sure if that factors into the algorithms of Madden.
Oh my
but now,
God.
what a risky move.
Oh.
Don't do that for an opportunity to just pick up one.
My heart.
Yeah, that was a dangerous ball. But they still have possession here nonetheless, so we'll definitely get away with one, but maybe they learned their lesson from that.
You're like, you know what? Flats is not it. You know, it's just not. Like, I'm a flats lover and a believer, but just not then, not there. Goff will drop back one more time. He will roll, treating this as a full-on bootleg. Gibbs. Oh, he's got a blocker. Oh, he's gonna get down around the 2. Holy cow! Gibbs has been their workhorse these last 4 plays,
And rightfully so. The youngster, second year, just absolutely doing incredible things. Open field means progress made and an opportunity to close out now. They've got Montgomery lined up in the eye this time around. They'll give it right to him. Touchdown. No, denied. I believe. No, they got it. Wow, they just got across the line. It'll be Light B walking away with an overtime winner. Congratulations to Light B.
Oh, bro, I know exactly what you meant, too. I thought he got basically just stood up at the line, but that little leap put the nose of the ball just over the goal. Congratulations, Light B comes back from the depths of defeat from his first match earlier, and he's able to take a big dub in an overtime moment, Bear. Wow, we got to see this player really come to shine through 2 matches on the day. Munchlax fan, felt rough because all I had to, just like Light B earlier, was to get 1 PAT and the game was theirs, but we went extra time and Light B came out on top.
Yep, you had 1 extra point you had to take care of. Plus, you got the ball in overtime. Unfortunately, weren't able to convert with a big turnover there on downs, which was also insanely close as far as whether or not they picked it up. And then, so it was a game of inches, and that's what Madden comes down to sometimes. And unfortunately, they couldn't get it done. And I thought with 5 seconds left that overtime was there, and that's how intense these games have been over the course of the last 3 blocks. And it ends that way. So an entertaining set of football here on the Players League as we see these players really starting to adjust, starting to improve, and really just like over the course of the season, that improvement alone can really go a long way, both on the esports side and on the STEM side, man.
Yeah, honestly, we've seen such great growth for the STEM projects. They're doing such fantastic work going through all of their storyboarding, getting some extra review, getting that assistance as is necessary. But then also the games feels like they're putting in the studies both for those projects and on the field. Huge work from out of all of our awesome students that are coming in through this Players League, and I'm excited for week 4. We're about to be a month in, man.
That's crazy. That's awesome. And a big work from Brightspeed and Spin as well for putting this together. Stay plugged in Brightspeed. A big thank you to our partners for being able to put this together, organize, and create something truly special for each and every one of these students. So please, 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 exclamation point Brightspeed in the chat and see if Brightspeed Fiber Internet is in your area and get some of the best connection, quickest connection out there to date. So a big thank you to all those partners. And also you can get involved with Stay Plugged In too this weekend. We got a showcase cooking for you. Actually, 2 showcases. One starting on Saturday, it'll be Rocket League and Overwatch.
Yep, Rocket League and Overwatch. You got a $1,000 prize pool for both of those on the 15th. And then the following day, to be able to combine into that total showcase, you've got Valorant and Super Smash Brothers with $1,100 in that prize pool. So make sure if you want to be able to get into that, staypluggedin.com/events will guide you the right way. I won't be in this one. I have a couple other gigs that are happening, but I've seen the last few, and I've seen actually a ton of them. Bear, it's never a bad time. In fact, it's always great fun.
Exactly right. Plus, players ample opportunity to play in front of college eyes. So if you're a high schooler, you play any of those titles, highly recommended for sure. We also have Formula STEM Esports Cup almost cooking already. Yes, the 20th is right around the corner, which means you need to register now for the preseason that is coming up, and that will be a race at Spain in the F1 24 circuit. So that'll be a good one to warm up with before we take it to Austria the very next week. So lots of iconic courses that we have, and you can sign up and see all the details there at racing.staypluggedin.com. Again, that's racing.staypluggedin.com. And check out all the details there because it's a super unique opportunity there for those students in the world of sim racing, which we don't get to see a lot of at the high school level.
Basically, if you want a way to be able to go around the world and see some sights while also being in the, the front drive at the steering wheel, you'll be able to hit some of that. So if you want to basically be a simulation of what I have to deal with whenever I commute every single day, hit it up. I think it's going to be a great time.
Especially for the freshmen and sophomore who haven't even taken driver's ed yet.
Oh.
They're going to be on the track.
Yes.
There'll be lots of fun to kind of witness there. They're a unique opportunity to drive. Maybe it'll teach them some things at the end of the day. Well, listen, there's only one more thing for me to do here at Hell Monkey Man, and that's to go lose some Madden to the director of ed. So, that being said, we will bid you adieu. Monkey Man, thank you so much for joining us.
It's always fun. Thank you so much. And of course, shout out over to Blasky, who has been pushing all the buttons behind our faces to get into your spaces. And Bear, it's always a great time, and I cannot wait for week number 4.
Week number 4 coming at you next week. Again, follow all the social media so you know exactly when we go live, with what activation we go live. Until next Wednesday, that's all for the Players League tonight. Good night.